Have you lost weight only to gain it right back after returning to your routine? Did your diet work for someone else but not you? Rockin' That ID Life helps you understand your genetic makeup to find a lifestyle that fits your needs. Together, you and RockinThatIDLife.com can focus on your health and meet your goals today. That's RockinThatIDLife.com.
Center Ice Brewery is a proud sponsor of Let's Go Blues Radio. Visit CenterIceBrewery.com today to schedule a no-contact curbside pickup or make a reservation in their awesome tap room. That's Center Ice Brewery, located in Midtown St. Louis. Let's go Blues! Welcome to Season 10, Episode 14 of Let's Go Blues Radio. We're the often imitated, never duplicated, tornado-fighting, storm-respecting, 10-time defending podcast champion, the original St. Louis Blues Hockey Podcast. Special thanks to RockinThatIDLife.com and CenterIceBrewery.com for proudly sponsoring the show. Please check them out. It's Wednesday, December 15th, and we're broadcasting live on YouTube and Facebook. This is franchise episode number 332 all time. To interact with the show, we are on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Just do a search for us. You will find us. I'm Kurt Price. My co-hosts for the big show are Jeff Ponder and Bill Day. And tonight we're talking St. Louis Blues hockey. Hello, gentlemen. All of us attended a Blues game this past week.
We did. Just not the same one.
No. Bill was at the Blues game.
Well, two of us did.
Right. Two out of three. Bill was at Saturday's game versus Montreal.
Yes, I was.
And did you make the ugly Ronaldo statue? Did you make that again?
No, I did not make the Jumbotron this time. We were sitting virtually in the same seats as when I did, so I kind of halfway expected that they would pick on me again, but they did not. I was wearing my 2022 Winter Classic Blues jersey this year. My face mask was my Habs mask, but yeah, that wasn't going to make the Jumbotron. So
didn't they use the same? Was it the same clip in two different games when you were there? Was that right? Just one time?
Yeah, no. They recycled that.
Yeah.
2 different games. Yeah.
I know
that happened, yeah. And then and I would get reports, like into the following preseason. Hey, saw you on the Jumbotron.
Speaking of the celebrity lookalikes that they do on the Jumbotrons, I mean, every team does this. Jeff, you saw this on in the game on Sunday, where I don't know which, it was Star Wars night. Okay, Sunday was, and they had Star Wars characters up there, and I think it might have been Yoda, or I forgot who it was, but the guy they showed looked up at the camera and just double fisted birds, just like that. I'm like, dude, come on.
Was it Anakin? It might have been Anakin.
It might have been. I don't know. But I'm like, Jesus, what a dick.
Yeah.
What a dick.
Well, then a bunch of people cheered, and I'm like, come on.
I mean, it's like, and he wasn't like
Star Wars.
He wasn't
nerds.
some dick, 17-year-old kid. He was an adult, and he does that. And I'm like, what are you doing? Come on. It's Star Wars night. There's a shit ton of kids here. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was a little silly too.
So whatever.
There was a couple good ones though. The Chewbacca one made me laugh. It was just, they do Chewbacca every year at the Star Wars night. It's always some big hairy guy with a big old beard and scraggly hair. So that was good. The Yoda one was a kid wearing Yoda ears. So the rest of it was really good. But yeah, that was a little annoying too. I agree.
I was like, jeez. I had my kids there, and it's like, whatever.
Well, and as is tradition with Jeff and Kurt attending the same thing at the same time, we did not even bother to try and see each other.
Well, you texted me. I didn't see it till way later. And it's always the same thing when I take my kids to the game, because it's constant. I want this. I want that. I have to go to the bathroom. And in between periods, it's, I have to go to the bathroom, and then I want something to eat. And so I'm running in the bathroom, and I'm running to get something to eat, and I'm all over the place. And so in between second and third, my daughter requested cotton candy. So I'm like, okay, this is a treat for them. I'd like to get them a few things they want, food wise. My daughter is a huge cotton candy fan, walked all over the damn place. Not a single I mean, they've sold it in the past, but not everywhere. There's like one place that might sell it, and I couldn't find it. It was not nowhere to be found. They have 14 different places to buy beer, but no,
yeah, I was gonna say now that
candy.
you say that, I don't think I know where you can get cotton candy in the arena anymore.
It was at like one of those portable kiosk cart things. Last time I got it, but it was just on a stick, like half a dozen of them there. But
yeah, I know they got a baked bear there, which is awesome. If you guys have never had that, it's literally you get to choose your cookie, and then you get to make an ice cream sandwich, whatever ice cream they have.
Well,
so that's
was that the
right
cart?
in front of the escalator.
Yes,
yeah, it's on a cart. That place is great.
When I couldn't find the cotton candy, I'm like, you know what? I'll get them each an ice cream sandwich. They'll like that. And so I go to look at the line. The line is unbelievable. I mean, it just kept going. They need a bigger stand with like 3 or 4 registers or something. It was insane. Yeah. There's no way. I actually saw Chris Frank in line there. How can you miss him, right? But
yeah, he's big. He's a big dude.
He's the tallest person in the entire building, players included.
Yeah, yeah. I think he's 6'7", if I remember correctly.
Yeah, he's big.
Ben Bishop sized.
Yeah, right. And he's like two of Ben Bishop's.
Yeah, he's a big man. You don't mess with him.
Hulky man.
But he's a big teddy bear. That dude. Every time I see him, he throws his arms up. He gives me a hug. He's such a sweet man.
He is hairy. It's like 2 teddy bears hugging each other.
The reason
he wasn't
I didn't
Chewbacca.
No, he was not Chewbacca.
He really should have been. Is he tall enough?
The reason I didn't see you is it's every time that we go to a game, and I think Friday is going to be different. We always have these big grand plans of, okay, we're going to take my son early to drop him off somewhere, whichever grandparents. Then we're going to center ice. Then we'll catch the shuttle. Then we'll go out and do something after. And in the last couple of years, it just has not happened. So we ended up just, things come up, and we ended up not even getting to the game until right after warm-ups. We sat in our seats, plenty of time, but it was just like, I like to get there early. I like to walk around a little bit and, loosen up my legs, and I want to be sitting the rest of the time. And things just kept coming up. And so I was I even said, I don't think we'll be seeing Kurt tonight, but we'll see. Maybe.
Yeah. Well, and we went to center ice, took the shuttle, it was great. Walked in, saw Adam and got a beer. My kids got some root beers. And that was the coolest thing. I'm drinking a root beer in a bar. Kids are. But so took the shuttle over there. But we missed the earlier shuttle, so we got there probably 10 till 7. So we didn't see warm ups. We got there. We sat down right when the puck was dropping. So it was perfect timing. We were cutting it close and just didn't have time in between periods. It was just ridiculous. Like I said, my kids are very demanding.
Yeah, I know how that goes.
So the game on Saturday was good, Bill?
It was a great experience. It was hockey night in Canada game, so early for a Saturday, 6:00 start. And they got away from the new tradition of, since it was a Canadian team, they had the national anthems, both American national anthem and Canadian national anthem. So they had somebody come out to perform, and she started off great and actually got into the French version, which, I really appreciated that. But then she flubbed the lines, and it was a national embarrassment for Canada. There's a great screen cap I caught during the game. Somebody posted to Twitter of Alex Burrows wincing on the bench, and the game was great. I mean, we were 6 rows off the ice, and we still somehow almost saw a fight, even though we're down there where, usually you don't get the Hoosiers getting into fights, but there was one looking for one and almost happened. So
I'm watching the Hawks and the Capitals tied 4-4, 3 seconds to go. I think Washington just tied it 4-4.
They did, but there's a challenge.
They reviewed Oshie for offside, and he was in the zone before the puck, but he had possession of the puck right before the puck entered the zone because he reached back for the puck. And
You got the call?
yeah, it counted.
Yeah.
It was
Yep.
that is close.
Yeah, that was very close.
I get, because if you have possession, you can proceed the puck, but you have to have possession.
Yep.
Yikes! Woo.
Yeah, that's a close one.
And they 3 seconds to go, they tied it. Holy shit! What a review.
Well, yep, that's how you do it. We're going to talk about a review later that pissed me off, but yeah, this one, that's a great review.
The official beers of episode number 332. You can follow each of us on the Untapped app. My handle is CPrice12. Jeff's is JPonder94. Bill's is Blue Note 33. Jeff, what do you have, sir?
Well, I mean, technically, I guess I'm going for Bill and I, but I'll let
Right.
Bill speak
We're
to it as well.
We're streamlining this segment.
That's right. Yeah, we're we want to move on and talk about the Blues and Stars game. But no, tonight I'll be drinking out of my wonderful St. Louis Blues mug. I don't know why I held that up. Let me grab the bottle. I am drinking Nutcracker from Boulevard. And Bill, I mean, I'll let you speak to this too. And yeah, Bill's drinking the same thing. That's why I said that. But yeah, I love the smell of this drink. It's one of my favorite smells of a beer. It's going to sound so lame, especially coming from a guy wearing a Santa jacket. It smells like Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
It is just a beautiful Nutcracker smell.
Little nutmeg in there, maybe?
Mhm.
Yeah, Christmas spices.
Yeah.
All Christmas spices abound. It's very good. I love winter warmer ales. Schlafly retired theirs in favor of their what is it? The Very Berry or the Mary Berry ale
Mary
that
Berry.
they do now. Yeah. But their previous Christmas ale was my favorite. I would pick up, a case of that and drink that throughout December. Loved it so much. This is really good. I've been trying some different, just trying to sample different Christmas beers this year. This one is definitely tops of the list so far. So I think a couple of the other ones I've tried, I had the one last week, the Electric Reindeer. This is more of a brown ale with ginger. So kind of got to be in the mood for that. And I had one from Rheingeist, which is a Cincinnati brewery. That it's just kind of a cool can and cool name. They just call it Dad, and it's a they make dad jokes on it, and but it's good. Good winter beer. So far, out of all of the ones I've had, the Nutcracker is the one.
Did you notice at the top it has a name? I'm guessing is it the person who maybe brewed it or the person who bottled it?
I'm not sure. I noticed that mine have different names on them. Who's on yours?
Yeah, mine too. This one tonight I have Stephen Marshall.
I have Blue Lawrence.
Oh wow, yeah. There's I think all of the ones that I have different names on it. So
Yeah,
I wonder if that's maybe the brewer or if that's somebody who bottled it, or that's kind of cool. Maybe just giving a little Christmas shout out to those people.
yeah. If anybody from Boulevard is in our chat, let us know.
Yeah.
Mine is my beer tonight is the vanilla pumpkin beer from O'Fallon. So I'm going seasonal holiday, but a different one. So and it's basically a beer that I'm trying to. I've got a few in the fridge, so I should probably get rid of these before Christmas, maybe.
Probably.
I mean,
Probably.
it's like wearing white for Labor Day. No pumpkin beer in the fridge come Christmas.
Yeah. Right.
Unless you're Ponder.
Right.
I was gonna say I actually found out that Deerberg's is the spot to still get pumpkin beer. So I went and after my last paycheck, I went and bought all the pumpkin beer they had left. Literally all of it.
Nice.
You're like that reminds me of what's the story that my cousin Jeff tells Bill about on Friday when people get their paychecks, a certain sub they buy at Subway?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Because he used to work at Subway.
Right. We won't get into that on the public airwaves. So, but
just
yes,
people coming to buy a certain kind of sub on Paycheck.
right.
The
Oh
more
yeah,
expensive sub.
right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. You knew when it was paycheck day.
Right.
Oh yeah, working in retail, you always knew that too. Fridays around like lunchtime, when I used to work at Best Buy in the Valley, all the kids my age would come in, and I was like, "Oh, they must have just gotten their paychecks today," and they would just load up. Going to date myself here. Load up on CDs and DVDs and video games, and it's like, "Yep, they got paid
PS1
today."
games. Oh wait, no.
Back in the day, that would have
PS2.
been maybe PS2. I think it. Two of the systems came out while I was working there. It might have been the PS. Wouldn't have been the PS3, would it?
I still have a PS2.
What year?
I was there from 2005 to 2007, I think.
Yeah, PS3 came out, I think, 2007-ish.
2006. November 11th,
2006,
2006.
That's right. I got mine in
that would have been the
2007.
PS3. Yep, me too.
I have my PS3
so
right
in
here.
the chat, we've got Matt Harris saying, "I'm drinking a second rodeo from Lost 40 in Little Rock." So
Well,
there's
it's good
his
it's
beer
not
of the
his
episode.
first rodeo.
You know, I like that our listeners tell us what beer they're drinking. I think that's cool.
Yeah.
So keep that coming. I think that's fun. I like that they're enjoying beer with us.
What kind of beer there, Matt, is the second rodeo? What kind of beer is it? I'm gonna guess an
Horse
IPA.
stew.
Everything's an IPA. Today in Blues history, courtesy of the @STL Blues History Twitter account, December 15th, 2021 is today's date. December 15th, 2010, Carlo Koliakovo does a faceplant into the glass after tripping Valtteri Filppula in the St. Louis Blues 5-2 loss versus the Detroit Red Wings. The Wings did score in that power play. At least Carlo did score a goal in that game. If you're wondering why this is in Today in Blues history, it's because there is no better hockey gif than this. You've all seen it, right? Koliakovo trips, falls down, slides into the boards, and it's like a second or two goes by, and his head just pops up from the boards.
Yep, and I still I told this story when we had Carlo on and talked about this. Friend of the show, Carlo Koliakovo. Yeah. When we had him on, I remember hearing it was Darren Pang on the call, and I remember hearing Darren Pang just like they show the replay and he didn't know it was coming, and you just hear Darren Pang like trying to break down the play. Yeah, you see Carlo sliding into the corner there, and I don't know, was it Zetterberg or somebody had the puck. And he's like, and Zetterberg's driving to the net, and then you see Carlo's face just and then pop back, and and he goes, and looks like Koliakovo's in some pain there. It was just like, what else do you say to that?
Two of the better gifts have been Blues, the Koliakovo and the Weidman penalty shot or the shootout goal.
Don't forget about the Berglund slap shot face
and
plant.
the Berglund slap shot face plant, right? Oh my God,
we've had some good ones.
I like if you go watch the actual game replay of the Weidman's wipeout on the shootout goal attempt. There's a pause and they start laughing. Both broadcasters. Pretty funny.
Yep, I remember that one very well, and I think I was at that game actually. And my legs have legs is what somebody on YouTube coined that, and I love that. Dennis Weidman, my legs have legs.
December 15th, 1986, 35 years ago, the sale of St. Louis Blues from Harry Ornest to the group led by Mike Shanahan and the arena to St. Louis City became official. Harry Ornest made a killing in this deal from what he bought the team for to save the team, and didn't have the team that long. Was it 5 seasons? Something like that? 6, maybe? And then Mike Shanahan bought the team. And you have to wonder, where Shanahan was in the process of his life and investments to when the Blues were for sale the first time. when Harry Nuss swept in and saved the team. And it was like, I wonder if Shanahan was where was he at that point? Was he even here? Was he? I mean, because he could have had the Blues for a lot cheaper a few years before.
I believe he was coaching the Denver Broncos.
You might be right. Not that Mike Shanahan.
Okay. Sorry.
The Mike Shanahan era was fun. Local guy. Just I don't know.
Yep.
Just a good time in St. Louis Blues history. The winning, there was some fun seasons. Brought in some great players.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wasn't afraid to splash the cash and piss off the old boys network.
Yeah. Yeah. A mid-market team spending money. That pissed everybody off.
Yeah. What the hell? That's not how it works.
We'll get into the St. Louis Blues play of late, all the injuries, the COVID crap, how the Blues are winning with half a roster after this. Maybe they're taking some ID life. I think that's probably the explanation for all of this. So here's some words from ID Life.
It's safe to say that the Burn Box from RockinThatIDLife.com provides you with the sugar bustinest, muscle buildingest, mood enhancingest, focus inducingest, energy boostingest, hootinest, tootinest, shootinest experience. You not only get the excellent product, but you get recipes, menu options, a tracker, and program guide to assist you along your self-betterment journey. Based on your goals, you can double up on Slim Plus or Energy, or you can get one of each. With flavors such as mixed berry, tropical fruit, and orange, the Burn Box lets you enjoy the weight loss or muscle gain journey along the way. Become a VIP with RockinThatIDLife.com and place your Burn Box on subscription and you'll save 20%. And as always, text
the roughest, toughest He-Man, stuffest hombre has ever crossed the Rio Grande.
And our friend Dustin at 636-393-8745 and tell him Let's Go Blues Radio sent you to receive an additional 10% off your order.
Now all of you skunks, clear out of here.
And go over to RockinThatIDLife.com. Want to mention again what we mentioned last week. We've got some Santa-sized savings for anybody interested in RockinThatIDLife.com. It's $20 off the retail Burn Box and $40 instant savings on ID Nutrition. This is for customers and VIPs only in a 6-month span. If you sign up for the subscribe and save deal for 6 months, you save over $360. So that's a very, very big deal, folks. So if you're interested in getting into the Burn Box, RockinThatIDLife.com. Again, text our friend Dustin and make sure you talk to him, and he'll give you all the pointers you need to be able to get into this. And the number again for Dustin is 636-393-8745. You like how I was actually prepared this time? 636-393-8745. That is Dustin. He will walk you through any process you need. Good friend of mine. Tell him Let's Go Blues Radio sent you. And I say good friend of mine, good friend of ours, really, at this point. So yeah, text Dustin, let him know. That's RockinThatIDLife.com.
You know what Dustin at ID Life needs? He needs a jingle.
What does he need?
He needs a jingle.
Yeah,
like a. I was thinking,
write him a jingle.
I was thinking that the Frederick Roofing people. You remember their phone number?
Frederick Roofing.
645-3000. Yeah. So you know their number because it's in the jingle. So that's pretty clever. But yeah, jingles are good. Jingles are fun. And make it sound old timey.
We could do
That's
that.
the way to go.
We could have Bill sing it.
Yeah. Get that.
I'll have Sheldon sing it. He's
There you go.
He's the vocal one of the family.
Get the Canadian voice actress that did our part of our intro.
Take off, hosers.
Funny.
So talking about some comments we got in the chat here. First of all, Matt Harris trying to make an early bid for comment of the show. I'd love to stay and listen to the podcast, but it's my turn to be called up as the Blues goalie. I hope that's not the case. No offense, Matt. Ken Morris complimented my great Christmas shirt. I also want to point out, it's not just a Christmas shirt, it's a Christmas jacket, but I'm also rocking the Spider-Man because I am a huge nerd and I am very excited for the Spider-Man movie coming out. So I'll be going to see that on Saturday.
You know what my shirt I got on? See what I got? I'm supporting the...
Oh, look at that. Center Ice Brewery.
Center Ice Brewery shirt
My-
for the show.
God, it just makes you look so thin, Kurt.
It does. You know, I wear it all the time.
That's why you should buy Center Ice Brewery gear, folks.
Makes you look thinner. Yeah,
Also, you know why he's thinner is because he uses Rockin' That ID Life.
I do. The Pina
But then I
Colada,
tied in both their
quite good.
sponsors.
Pina Colada, quite good.
Let's see. Winning Unlimited says he's drinking Mother's Brewing Company's Winter Grind Coffee Stout. That's awesome.
Yeah, I
Ken
think that's
Morris.
been a beer of the show for me once.
It has. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Ken Morris, Newegg and Best Buy are two of my go-to places for computer hardware upgrades. Got 6
Yep.
PCs, all home built by me.
6 PCs in
Ken.
your house. Nice.
That's impressive.
You doing some Bitcoin mining?
Right.
Yeah,
That's what I was gonna
that's
say.
got to be it.
I mean, what else would you use 6 PCs for in your house, right? Unless you have 6 kids.
Matt Harris
that.
also adds.
Go ahead, Bill.
I was going to make the joke that he's still doing that SETI screensaver, searching for extraterrestrial life.
There you go.
I used to do that. That's fun.
Yeah. There you go.
Doing our part.
Matt also adds, he's all over the YouTube chat tonight. By the way, next time I drive up for a game, if any of y'all want any Arkansas beer, just let me know. Matt, I will just go ahead and say you can go ahead and plan on that.
Yeah.
Next time you're in town, bring some beer with you. We'll give you some Let's Go Blues Radio swag or something to make up for it, and obviously we'll pay you. But yeah, that sounds awesome. Let's make that happen.
Or do a Center Ice beer swap.
Yeah, definitely do that.
Something like that.
And then Mary Woodruff Ponder, my mother, over in the Facebook chat says, "Hi guys, hello."
Hello, Jeff's mom.
Hello, Mom Ponder.
Mom's always got to get her airtime.
Just like her son.
That's right. Got to be noticed.
Look at me. Hence the jacket.
I was gonna say.
You're right.
I think I'm sporting that pretty good this show.
Yeah, no, I like it. I like it. So the St. Louis Blues winning with half a roster, doing it with smoke and mirrors. The Blues COVID case count this season. I didn't add this up, but Brandon Saad 4 games, O'Reilly 4 games, Husso 8 games so far, Clifford 7 games, Krug 6 games, Mikkola 5 games, Bozak 7 games, Bennington 6, Fox 6. Plus they have Shen, Thomas, Perron, Wallman, Costin, Neal, and Husso currently out on injured, either LTIR or IR or just out.
That's actually 674 games. I just counted.
It seems like it.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
But you have to subtract the Clifford games off because those really count.
Oh, 672.
Right. Yeah, whatever. Still, technically, that's what it is. But yeah, they just keep on winning and keep getting points. It doesn't seem to matter how many players go on COVID protocol or get hurt. The guys they call up, they just keep doing it. Going 4-0-2 in their last 6 and 6-1-3 in their last 10. And they kind of need this because the teams behind them, Nashville and Colorado, are winning. They've won each one 5 in a row. One's like 7-1-2, one's like 6-2-3, something like that, or 6-2-1, whatever it is, 6-2-2. Yeah, they're all playing well. So if not for the great play of the folks, the players the Blues brought up, the call ups or the young kids, the Blues are in 3rd or probably sitting out of the playoffs right now. You got Charlie.
Yeah, and I was going to say not even the players. I was going to say the fact that they've played shorthanded twice.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
And guys getting injured in games to where they have to end games with 17, 16 guys. I mean, it's impressive as hell what this team's doing.
I mean, the call-ups and the notable contributors have been Charlie Lindgren, obviously, Logan Brown, Dakota Joshua, Nathan Walker, my God, Billy Husso,
Walker.
Billy Husso
Man,
before he got hurt.
I think I might have mentioned this before. I don't know, but on my ice hockey team, I actually have 2 Australians on the roster, which is very odd to have 2 Australians, and they both. And listen, I know that obviously they had already heard of Nathan Walker, they knew who he was, but they are so excited to play hockey now. Like literally, one of the guys came to the bench last night and he said, "I got to score a goal. I got to summon my inner Nathan Walker." And I'm like,
Isn't that funny?
it's so awesome to see how excited these guys are, and it's just everyone, I mean, the kid's amazing. He's killing it out there.
It's funny what rallies people, kind
Yep.
of country pride, I guess, right?
Mhm.
And then John Gillies too, who was signed for the one game, so we didn't have to use an e-bug, and he was fantastic, stopping 36 of 39 and getting a well-earned point versus a very good Ducks team. And it was the second game in the back-to-back starts, back-to-back games the Blues had to give Lindgren a rest. So, I mean, up and down the lineup, like you said, shorthanded, and these guys who none of them were, except for Husso, were on the team to start the season, and they're all huge reasons why this team is in second place right now. It's crazy.
We mentioned it last week. Logan Brown sitting on the second power play and playing on the top line right now and looking very comfortable with Ryan O'Reilly. Guys like Dakota Joshua getting penalty kill minutes and big moment minutes too. And I mean, what else can you say about Charlie Lindgren? He's been fantastic, but I mean, these guys have just been. They're so motivated, and you see this. You see guys a lot will come up and have a good game, like 1-2 good games, because they're so motivated to play. These guys aren't giving up. They're here to stay. They want to keep their spot. They're battling because they know the minute these guys are coming off COVID, they're getting sent back down. They want to make the Blues think twice about that.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? The first time that Walker was called up, he played well. Yeah, he was a good player, a good contributor. Not like he is this time. Was it 2 years ago that he was called up?
Yeah,
was a star of the game, one of the games, and that's when the whole Foster's Lager and the Outback jokes and stuff happened.
Yeah.
Had
to be star of the game to get that interview with Pang.
Right. But
that cringy interview.
Yeah. But but he's played much better this time than last time. And he hasn't played a lot in the NHL, but he's been very good when he's been up here. So, I mean, this is his second showing where he's played well. It makes you wonder what his chances would be to stay, after everyone comes back. I mean, what do you do? I mean, out of all the players that have been called up, I think Walker is the guy, to me, the skaters, that would be the guy that you would want to consider keeping. I mean, Logan Brown was it for a while. He's still been good, but I mean, Walker's just tearing it up.
Yeah, he's been great. It's not even just scoring goals either. He's all over the ice. He's in the right position. He's forechecking. He's battling on the boards, and he's a smaller guy, and he plays like a big guy. You didn't even mention in this, which we'll talk about him here, but Alexei Toropchenko comes in first shift, almost scores a goal.
Yeah,
I mean,
crossbar. Right.
This is insane. Seeing the kind of productivity you're getting out of these guys.
And he was noticeable.
It's just you didn't expect when this season started that there would be many call-ups unless we got into a crazy injury situation, and it's awesome seeing Berube have to embrace it and utilizing these guys and doing it in such an effective manner. I mean, that having the guys that have the chemistry from playing in Springfield, it is just it's awesome to watch. That I hated, and I know we'll get to it in a minute. I hated that Toropchenko's rebound put in by Pekka didn't count, but man, they just looked awesome. I mean, and Toropchenko is another guy who's 6'6" and isn't afraid to throw the body. He didn't look out of place for his first game.
No. He's way quicker than I thought he was too. He's got some speed for being such a big dude.
They put on the screen all the 6'6" or bigger guys. The Blues, if they're dressing Logan Brown and Toropchenko, and they're a big team.
Yeah. Parayko and John Gillies before he got moved.
Right, true. Yeah, he was on the screen last night for a sec. So, where are we at here?
Well, before we talk about the game last night, I just want to add real quick with the game we went to. Obviously, the Montreal game was great. The Red Wings game with Walker getting the hat trick was fantastic. But John Gillies, we're going to sing his praises here for a second, even though he's not really a Blue anymore. I was very impressed by his game, and I'm really happy. I think it was Luke Korak that said on Twitter, he goes from an AHL tryout to start the year to now he's, a rostered player for the New Jersey Devils. And a big part of that was just, again, that commitment, the battle that was in him that wants to stick around. He was so good on Sunday. He really impressed me. And I thought, man, the Blues have a very tough decision here with Binnington coming back soon. Somebody said, do you carry 3 goalies? And I'm like, I don't want to say yes, but I mean, my God, these guys are fantastic. They're all playing great.
Yeah. Well, and I think we need to pump the brakes a little bit, because I think there's been a lot of talk on social media about, trading Husso or and letting Lindgren. I mean, like, hold on. I mean, I love and appreciate the great goaltending we've received from Lindgren. In a small sample size. Okay, so I would not trade away either the goal you brought up in the system and has now started playing really, really well. That you've watched and monitored over the past few years for a guy that you've had for 4 games. So let's not go crazy.
I want to hear
Ville
Husso
is
Bill
not
has to say.
Yeah, Ville Husso is not Chad Johnson, right? He's not the weak link that you want to see shipped out.
Right.
You always want to have depth in goal, and Charlie Lindgren, he's playing, just playing for pride and playing to show that Montreal made a mistake trading for Jake Allen and not going to him, and it was awesome to see him shove it in their face, and awesome to see him revel in that. That's one of my favorite moments of the season so far. Just the excitement from the 2 interviews that he got to do, where the first time when they said, they asked him about playing Montreal, it's like, yeah, you don't have to tell me we're playing Saturday night. I know who we're playing. And then after getting the star of the game in the Montreal game and getting the interview, and him throwing the it's freaking great. It's great. He's just very, very much goalies are usually considered aloof and not always the easiest on the team to grasp onto and say, yeah, I love this guy, but man, Charlie Lindgren,
he's a likable. He's a fun guy. He's a fun guy. He's a
Brian
character.
Gertis in the Facebook chat, I just want to add, he adds, I would let Sideburns play a little more. And I think we're going to see that.
Well, yeah, until Husso comes back. But in reality, you're really not going to get a lot in a trade for a guy like Husso, unless he's part of a package deal, which I don't think they're trading Husso anyway.
No.
But if they're going to trade somebody, it's going to be a Lindgren or a trade to sell high, right? I mean, but again, you're not going to get much for him at all, and unless you put him as part of a package deal for a big stay-at-home defenseman, which the team would like to have. But it's funny. I think with goaltending comments online are, if you want to get irritated, read any team's fans' comments on goaltending. It'll make you pull your hair out.
I will say, and I've said this, I mean, since I really, really got into following the game and trying to report on the Blues, there's more good goalies than there are jobs in the NHL. And that's why we're seeing a guy like Charlie Lindgren, who's an AHL goalie. Let's face it, he's still considered an AHL goalie at this point. going out and being a gangbuster for the Blues, for a good NHL team. It's just that 20 years ago, easily 30 years ago, easily he gets a backup job somewhere, maybe even be a starter somewhere. But there's too much competition in net. There's only 64 jobs in the NHL for a goaltender. And there's just as many jobs in the AHL. But, you could look at a guy, again, we're seeing it with Charlie Lindgren, but we've seen it before with a guy like, now I know he kind of was a flash in the pan, but the Hamburglar, Hammond.
Yep.
Hammond. Yeah. I mean, that guy came up out of the AHL, out of nowhere. I mean, and let's think about the biggest example, Jordan Binnington. He was really, to me, kind of left off the Blues radar in terms of goaltending. And then they call him up, didn't want to play him for a month when he was called up. He comes in, all of a sudden, he wins a damn Stanley Cup.
God, that annoyed me because Jake Allen was not playing well at that time.
No, and he was he was clear. He was exhausted.
He's playing so many games. He's not playing well. He's tired. I'm like, play Binnington a game. My God, get him in there. Get Allen some rest. They finally did.
I mean, that's not even a knock on Allen. It's like, dude, this guy is getting killed out there. He's tired. You can see it. Yeah. You can see it in his post-game interviews.
Right, but they couldn't. Well, right. So Binnington was up for a little bit, right? Mm-hmm. They couldn't rely on Chad Johnson. They put him in there, and he'd give up, a trickle back pass from the point would go in on the guy. So they had to, but yeah, to your point, and I don't know. I mean, I think we all love the narrative, that how it played out, and the magical start in Philly, and that's that was the beginning of the end of the story. And so, but yeah, you have to have depth in goal, and it's paid huge dividends for the Blues in 19 and this year again.
And we talked about a lot in the past about how fickle goaltending is, and Lindgren, as well as he's played, I mean, he's not in stone. I mean, he could come back down to earth easily. So I mean, it's not. I don't understand the trade Husso mindset right now, or when he comes back and he's healthy. Trade Husso, go with Lindgren as backup after 4 games. We've seen him for 4 games, and he's played. How many games he played in the NHL? 25, something like that. 29 total. That's it. It's not. Yeah. It's not. It's a small sample size, and we can't. Goaltending is so fickle. From game to game, week to week, season to season. Don't go putting all your eggs in the backup for Lindgren right now. It's just that makes sense.
Right. It's it nobody has tape on him, right? And there will be tape. At this point, though, he's not giving up goals, so it's hard to find a weakness.
And he's been great.
Somebody will find it and exploit it. So, but. Yeah,
and he's been great.
Right. He's been great. Ride him while he's hot.
Yeah, I don't think you can ask more of a goalie, any goalie. I mean, to play the way he's played. He's putting up league-leading numbers in the 4 games he's played in.
Right.
But again, it's 4 games, so let's cautiously optimistic about his future.
One of the people who has been kind of one of the more active people on social media, who's been leading that push of let's trade Ville Husso right now, and he was a guy who, back when Jake Allen was traded to the Montreal Canadiens, he said, why not? What, they couldn't even get Charlie Lindgren in that deal? And everybody else was like, dude, that guy sucks. Why do you want Charlie Lindgren? He's awful. And it's like, now he's at this point where it's like, oh, see, I told you. Okay, buddy. Okay, guy.
It's 4 games. It's 4 games.
Yep.
So prior to Tuesday night's game in Dallas, the Blues made a series of moves. Perron was placed on LTIR, retroactive to November 27th, which was cap related, not because he's suffered a setback or anything. Thomas and Shen were placed on IR. They activated Bozak and Falk off COVID protocol for Tuesday's game. Recalled forward Alexei Toropchenko from Springfield, who is 22, was originally drafted by the Blues in the 4th round. Number 113 overall of the 2017 draft. This season, he's 6'3", 200-pound forward, has collected 9 points, 5 goals, 4 assists and 10 penalty minutes in 22 games with the Thunderbirds.
I believe he's 6'6".
Oh, that came right from the Blues website. So the article they wrote. So I just copied it. So yeah,
Well,
it did
there
say
you
it did
go.
say on the, it did say on the game 6'6", didn't it? So if that's true, this is a typo.
Mhm.
Well, it says on the NHL site they have him listed as 6'6". So
Right.
I'm going to trust
this
that.
is off the article that was written.
Right.
Blues,
No, I
so,
know. They got it wrong.
Yeah.
This is why they need STL Blues history, checking everything they put out.
They do.
Mhm.
That's what it said in the yearbook, Jim.
Very nice.
Nice reference.
Slapshot reference. So the Blues beat the Stars 4-1 last night. Lindgren got the start in this game for St. Louis. Ottinger for the Stars.
Both
Stars-
from the same hometown. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Right.
They talked about
That was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lakeville, Minnesota.
Yeah. Which
the pride of Lakeville, Minnesota.
Yeah. No, it's a big hockey town. So that's awesome. But yeah, I saw that. I'm like, that's crazy. You rarely see two guys in net from the same hometown. Like same state, sure. Same province, sure. Same hometown, crazy.
Stars had won 8 straight home games coming into Tuesday night's game, but had lost the last 3 games on the schedule, which all came on the road. The game was scoreless after the first period. It was a good period. I thought this was a fun start to this game. Good hockey in the first period. Good goaltending. No score. Each team had a power play. Both teams killed it off.
The only thing that I'll take away that I didn't like, which I mentioned earlier in the show, is I know I bitched about on the show before. The whole review process is so stupid to me.
And that came in the
And
first period.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. I'm just
Yeah.
verifying.
Yeah, it happened pretty early too, right? Like it wasn't about 6 or 7 minutes into the period. Yeah, it's for those who didn't see it, kicked off Matthew Pekka. I always want to call him Michael Pekka.
I know.
Matthew Pekka directed the puck in with his skate, which that's interpretation whether it was a kick or not. But and then so first
it wasn't a
goal,
kick.
right?
I agree with the referee that it was not a kick. I thought it hit his leg and then he kicked. I thought it hit his leg, bounced off, and then he kicked as a reaction. I thought it was off his leg before he kicked.
I thought that was no different than the Vegas Golden Knights goal.
Yeah, but that was a bad
about.
But that was a bad call
months ago.
That was a bad call.
Yeah, but they called that one a goal.
No,
I didn't think that was a goal.
Well, he kicked that one. I thought this one, the puck hit his leg, then bounced off, and then he kicked as a reaction. That's the way I took it. Because if you look, it bounces off his leg before he kicks. That's
it's irrelevant,
right?
Because it was called offside. So the way that whole process goes is, well, first of all, the referee I thought was hilarious when he comes on the mic and he he turns on his mic and then he goes, "So wait, was that good or bad?" Like he didn't know if it was a good goal or not. And so I guess they yelled back over it. He goes, "Oh, we have a good goal on the play, and now Dallas is challenging for offside." And then they take the goal away. Yeah. And I, again, take the onus off the fucking coaches. Just have Toronto review every goal like they say they do and say, we're reviewing this for a possible offside and a possible kick. Boom, done. You don't have to waste 10 minutes of my time to have 2 reviews on the play.
It's really no different than they review close plays on the goal line anyway. If a puck, if the referee says the puck doesn't go in and play continues, you'll every once in a while the horn will blow because Toronto will call back and say, that was a goal, we're going back. So they stop play and they award the goal. It's no different. They review all kinds of stuff around the goal anyway. So why not have them? I agree with you, to have Toronto do that and. I have no problem with that. That's fine, as long as it doesn't take they're not going back 5 minutes in game time.
Well, and that's what I'm saying is and I think again there needs to be some kind of time limit or terms of hockey play. 10 seconds before the goal, we can review anything that happens. It's open interpretation. But yeah, when they're like, oh yeah, if they were like, oh yeah, so they came in the zone 2 minutes ago. and which can happen in the NHL. They came in the zone 2 minutes ago. Puck never left the zone, but they came in offside, so we're going to call that goal back. That's the kind of shit that drives me fucking crazy. Like, at that point, it's probably on the defensive team for not clearing the puck, right? Like, at some point, they had a chance to clear, and they probably didn't in that span. But you're still rewarding that defensive team, even though they fucked up, likely. There's just so many things wrong with the review. It drives me crazy. I would prefer they just completely remove the challenge and really any type of review, unless it's like a blatant thing like a kick or it hitting the top netting and bouncing down and they didn't blow it, whatever. Get rid of it all, and then let's figure out a new system, because this is driving me fucking crazy.
Well, Toronto could review. Go ahead.
Yeah, Toronto could review, but I don't want that. I want there to be I want the coach to be able to have a say and have a risk in it. I like the current setup. Go back to the player talking about in Vegas, right? It clear, distinct kicking motion, and it doesn't get overturned. And the whole night I'm thinking, it's because Chris King fell asleep back in Toronto because this is a West Coast game. Right. It seems to happen that way a lot, that calls late in games on the West Coast just don't get the right review. So, that why have Toronto be responsible for all of that? Give the coaches a say, allow them to do it, but make sure that they're risking something when they do it. I think one of the frustrating things from this play is that from the Blues' perspective, right? The fact that the kicking motion was challenged by the NHL, right, or by the refs themselves, gave Dallas the opportunity to go through frame by frame and conclusively say that was offside, so they could easily challenge that. But same thing happens on the other end of the ice. The Blues have the same opportunity. I think it's fair. I like it. Keep it.
I wonder, because Toronto, like I said, Toronto does review all plays around the goal line anyway to see if the puck goes in, and if it does and they didn't call it and play keeps going, they'll call down and they'll say stop play. This was a goal. So just to play devil's advocate here, why is that part of the system, but they can't review actual goals on their own? You know what I mean? Like they're reviewing pucks around the goal line that don't go in, but and they'll call down and stop the game to say a goal is awarded, but they're not allowed to review an actual goal that goes in on their own without a challenge from a coach, which is interesting to me. I'm kind of curious as to why that is, because it seems rather arbitrary as far as why one's allowed and one isn't. I'm not arguing for one or the other. I can see the benefits of both. I don't mind the current system, but I think Toronto reviewing everything would be okay too. But I'm wondering why one's allowed and one isn't.
I think it's just that it's written into the rules, right? That there's a coach's challenge for this, so it has to be initiated by a coach's challenge.
Right. I know that, but I don't know why they say the league can review goals that don't go in, but they can't review ones that do go in on their own without, that's like if a goal is awarded and no one catches anything from the other team, they can't call down and say, hey, this is not a goal because of this happened. So I never really thought about it before until recently. And it's just kind of interesting as to why that exists the way it does.
Getting away from that, I'll just add, we already mentioned Toropchenko, who was on the ice for what could have been the first Blues goal. Matthew Pekka, Dakota Joshua, Alexei Toropchenko. Yeah. I mean, and Toropchenko's shot, that was a bomb. That was a great one-timer. I mean, just, again, goes to show that how hard these guys are playing to try and stay in the lineup.
And hopefully it's not a thing where they're playing over their heads right now trying to stay in the lineup. Hopefully this is they're this good now, and they're still young, and they're going to get better, right? I mean, except for Walker's not really young, but a couple of other guys are. Logan Brown, is kind of young, and Toropchenko's young. So I mean, hopefully it's a thing where they're only going to get better. The Stars did score first in this game. Nothing in the first period, like I said. Nothing for most of the second. This came late in the second period. Riley Damiani, in his first NHL game, his NHL debut, scores his first career goal, and puts Dallas up 1-0. Long shift for the Blues. Lots of good pressure from the Stars. Blues looked tired. I know Mikla and Parayko were bunched up in the slot when the pass came across, the cross-ice pass. Not really immediately covering anybody. Tired, you could tell. Leaving Damiani open back door. Klingberg worked his way toward the corner, slid a pass across, had an open lane. And then Damiani settles the puck and roofs it. Nice shot over Lindgren. And Lindgren got over great. I thought he did a good getting over, but it was a good shot. I mean, that's a tough one to stop. I mean, bad-ish angle. Lindgren slides over. He's low, right? And he just puts it top shelf.
Yeah, I think I was listening to the Stars feed for a little bit, and why am I drawing a blank on his name? Color analyst Daryl Ray. Daryl Ray brought up a good point. He said, on that play with Klingberg feeding him across the crease like that, a lot of guys, the first thought they have, especially in their first NHL game, they get the jitters. And it's just, I just got to get this on net. And, a lot of times they would probably just throw it right low and hope that it doesn't hit his leg pad. Damiani, the way he looked and he saw, I need to roof this and put it top shelf. That was a beautiful play, beautiful pass. And yeah, like you said, tired Blues on the ice. They just looked like they had nothing in the tank at that point. That's just, I want to point and say Parayko, Bacola, one of you's got to cover this guy, but at the same time, it's one of those goals. I think you have to give a little credit to Dallas, keeping it in the zone, and Damiani making a great finish on that play.
And this goal came.
It was a great heads up play by Robertson to pick Saad's pocket. He caught Saad sleeping, and that puck stayed in the zone when it should have got out.
And it came about 20 seconds or so-ish after Lindgren made a couple of good saves. Really nice kick save. And then Saad couldn't get the puck out on the near boards. And you always hate to see that when a goal is scored shortly after a really good save. For some reason, you want that buffer after a really, really good save. You don't want the other team to score for a while. You want them to think about that save for a while. But, scoring a goal after that great save almost negates that great save, right?
Yeah, right. And it's like you don't even get the replay. Like, goalie makes a great save, you'll get a couple replays. You maybe get a commercial, come back for commercial. There's another replay of that great save. You're not going to get that after a goal. Maybe you'll get one look if it's the team that got scored on. Hey, let's show you how great of a save the goalie made. But it led to this goal, and you're not going to see that save again.
Just over a minute later, a fantastic response from the Blues. Parayko ties it at 1-1. Good pressure by St. Louis after the Stars went up 1-0. Kind of a broken play. Blues were buzzing around. A couple of partial chances and whiffs. Tarasenko's stick was checked as he shot, which sent the puck sliding wide of the net. Parayko had circled behind the net after a previous chance he had and was on the back door to flip in a backhand shot into the open side. Huge goal, not only because it was late in the second period. The late goals are big, but it was to tie it up, and it came only a minute after the Stars went up 1-0. Big goal, huge goal.
Yeah. Don't want to be down going into the third. That's for sure.
Yep.
Get it back right away.
Yeah, I mean, and Dallas was buzzing. The team was playing great, and the fans were going nuts. It was one of those. Okay, despite what Bill just said, you're thinking, let's just make sure we're not going down 2-0. Let's keep this 1-0 going into the third period. We got a chance. No, how about we just go out there and score a damn goal? That was just a great response by the Blues. And Parayko, Party's thinking, what the hell is he doing there? But, I know we've not been the biggest fans of Parayko this season, but I'll say that, I mean, his hockey IQ is so up there. He's such a smart guy on the rink. And, he's just always in the right spot, at least offensively. And he makes great plays like that one. And it was a huge play for the Blues at the time.
I have no problem with him being back there. He does that. He's scored wraparound goals. He's scored, goals around the sides of the net like that before. I have no problem with him pinching as long as somebody covers for him, while he's doing that. I have zero problems with him doing that because he's big, he's lanky, he's got that reach for the wraparound, and he's good with the puck. He's a guy that can put the puck in just like he did. So I have no problem with him. But and he's fast. He can get back.
I was gonna say he's not slow to where he's like no offense to Robert Bortuzzo, but that's Bortuzzo up there. You're thinking there's no way he's going to get back in time if there's a rush.
Well,
Parayko can get back quickly if he needs to.
Lots of comments about how this was Parayko's best game of the season, and I think that's probably fair. He played really well this game. After, I think he started off the season pretty well, as did the team, 5-0. But he's had a rough go. Could be his pairing with Scandella for a chunk of the season. It's not helping him any when Scandella is struggling. I think he's much better than the way he's played this season. I'm wondering now if he is going to reach the height of play that we thought he was going to get to a couple years ago. You know what I mean? It's just, I think because I don't think anybody ever expected him to replace Pietrangelo, right? But he was going to be the number one after Pietrangelo left, and need to see more consistent play out of him. Last night was a great game. And it'd be nice if those games happened more often for him, and they haven't. So
I agree.
Early in the third period, Justin Falk gives the Blues the lead. Falk puts the puck on net with some traffic. Rather innocent shot, and had it not been tipped,
whoa!
Probably.
Sorry, I'm watching the Coyotes.
I'm too.
Sorry to interrupt you. Coyote, yeah, there's a Phil Kessel's in a fight at the end of the game.
Oh yeah,
like an actual drop your gloves fight. That was crazy.
3-2 Rangers, and yeah, it is. Well, there was a hot dog they were fighting over.
That's what I was going to say.
Someone threw a hot dog on the ice. Yeah.
That's mine. Give me it. It's mine. That was crazy. I never seen him that aggressive. That was crazy.
Him and Pat Maroon are not the picture of fitness for the for NHL. And you don't want to follow in their footsteps because
I'd love to see them on the ESPN body issue.
It's not the mold for success, really. But they made it work. Good for them. But Falk puts the puck on net with some traffic. It was a rather innocent shot, had not been tipped. The puck grazed off Sagan's stick and over Ottinger. Good things happen when you put the puck on net, I think. And this early goal in the third, combined with a late goal in the second, bang, bang, the Blues are up 2-1. And the Stars were something like they won 4 out of 5 games, or 4-0-1 or 4-1 when they were leading going into the third period this season. So they had confidence in the third period, and the Blues just a couple minutes in just scored to go up 2-1, and all of a sudden, within about 6 minutes of gameplay or so, the Blues have the lead. So hard to tell if it hit Walker's stick on the play. They were trying to replay it, but after it went in, Walker points to Falk, right?
Yeah,
and that's hockey. That's hockey lingo for that's your goal. I didn't touch it.
Yep, that was yours. I didn't touch it. Yep.
Right. Yep.
I know that one. And I'll just say that just shows to go ya.
Just shows to go ya.
When you score a goal late and you take away that momentum from the Stars, I know a lot of people may not agree that momentum carries over from period to period, and maybe it doesn't. But you at least have that confidence coming into the third when you're tied 1-1 as opposed to down 1-0 after a late goal. And they came out with confidence, and Falk put that puck on net, and like you said, just had eyes, went in, and I don't know if that goal goes in if they don't score late in that second period. So just good stuff to see, and like you said, put the puck on net. That's always the right decision.
I mean, there was some traffic. There was a Blues player there. He was covered in front, but still, I mean, he's looking for a rebound or just whatever, a tip deflection. He's not looking to score there, and it did. It got tipped. So good things happen. It happens all the time. You see it happen all the time against us. So it happens for us here occasionally. And O'Reilly gives the Blues some breathing room with 8.5 to go on the power play. So from the side of the net, Barbashev finds Tarasenko far side, middle of the circle, who shoots. His shot was blocked. Ottinger goes out to cover it up, but O'Reilly's in the slot and pokes at it right before Ottinger can smother it, and it goes towards the net. Lindell tries to make the save, but it kicks it in, and you hate to see it, right? Maybe if Lindell had dove on the ice or something, it would have affected the play differently.
You know what's funny is like everyone tells me that is just not his game, and that was just so off color for him. But it's like that's all Blues fans can remember when they see that guy, and rightfully so.
Well, that was on a huge stage.
One of the most egregious dives I've ever seen in hockey.
Two, and it was on a huge stage. That's a big series. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
And then Tarasenko seals the deal with a power play goal just over a minute remaining. Dallas was pressing the issue a bit, trying to get the puck, probably trying to maybe pull their goalie once they get possession to down by 2. But the Blues played keep away, worked the puck around. Dallas's box was moving. They're chasing a little bit, and Tarasenko's wide open. Bushnevich to Barbashev, cross ice to Tarasenko, puts it by Ottinger's glove for his 9th of the season. Game over, stuck at Dallas.
What a shock this season, boys. Vladimir Tarasenko scored in the 3rd period.
Yeah, 2 games now, right? Second goal? Was that his first or second? This was second.
In the 3rd?
Yeah, I thought he had one before this. Bill, you're muted.
Yeah, Bill, we don't hear you. No, every one of his goals except for the one before this one was in the 3rd period.
He's only had one
Sorry.
non-third period goal.
You had it backwards.
Yeah.
You're right. So another super impressive performance by Mr. Lindgren. Unreal what he has come in and done. We talked about him before. He's the second Blues goalie to win his first 4 decisions with the team. The other. This was mentioned on ESPN Radio this morning, part of their trivia with Randy Carricker. There's only been one of the Blues goalie to win his first 4 decisions with the Blues. Do you know who it is?
Let's see. First for Chris Osgood.
Nope.
I know this.
I know I've heard this.
I'll give you a hint.
Reinhard Davis.
It's kind of a trick hint. White goalie mask.
It's not Jake Allen, is it?
Ryan Miller.
Oh, Ryan Miller.
He was good with the white goalie mask, but he sucked after he got it painted. Remember that?
That's true.
Yep.
I do remember that. No, man. Lindgren is just... Let's put it like this. He's everything we were hoping Ryan Miller would be.
Yeah, well, he's hoping he's everything everybody hopes their goalie would be. Yep. He's been really good.
Yeah, he's so far. Chucky Sideburns, right? That's what Panger's been calling him.
Okay, the weird obsession with body hair that I'm not sure if it's league wide, but Fox mustache and Lindgren's sideburns, people just don't stop talking about him, and it's kind of it's odd to me. It's like, and he's even asked about it in the post game press conference. A couple different guys asking questions about his sideburns, and his response is like, "I like them. I don't know."
I don't have a problem with it. I'm saying I'm probably one of those guys that does probably talk about guys' facial hair a lot. So I'll just say that it's just I don't know, maybe because I grow a good beard, but I love a good set of sideburns or a good mustache. So I'm all for it.
I probably shouldn't complain because about the question that was asked in the press conference, because I've always complained about the run-of-the-mill standard leading questions, the softball crap that gets asked in the post-game pressers, and this is something different, so I should just embrace it. It's something funny, but I like to complain.
No, I love it. I love any off just off the beaten path question.
No, those are fine.
Anything to
You're right.
give players personality, to allow them to not give you the static answer. That's the kind of stuff I love. So
Right.
I'm all for it.
Totally agree.
I'm looking. We pulled up his 4 appearances here. Charlie Lindgren. So he's say against Florida, he made 3 of 3 saves in that overtime victory against the Panthers, and then against Detroit, he saved 29 of 31. Against Montreal, he saved 22 of 23, and against Dallas, he saved 33 of 34.
What's been his best game so far? Was it the Dallas game?
I thought it was the Detroit game, honestly.
I'll say he played really well against Detroit.
Yeah, I think he
And
made
that's the
more
one he's given the most goals up against.
He made more highlight reel saves against Detroit, I think.
Yeah.
More impressive.
Yeah, I think
saves.
I think there was a little bit of a confidence issue going into that game. And let's face it, 2 guys that led the way for the Blues, Nathan Walker and Charlie Lindgren. Lindgren made some big saves early, and I think it gave the Blues confidence that, hey, this guy's an NHL goalie. We can move on with this guy. We'll be fine. We don't need Husso or Binnington right now. So yeah, I agree. I think Detroit was his best game so far.
Yeah, I know he got started the game in the Montreal game, and he literally, like, we were right on the goal line, our seats, and 6 rows off the ice, so had a great view of him the entire game. He was good, but I honestly thought Dakota Joshua was the best Blue in that game. But there's no way you're not giving Charlie Lindgren the start of the game, giving up 1 goal to the team that let him go. Right. That was just
for those of
beautiful.
you wondering about Bill's seats. He also wipes his ass with $100 bills. So I don't know if you all knew that.
My daughter asked me. She always asks me, "I want to sit down. How much do seats cost on the glass?" And I'm like, "You don't want to know." It's
Yeah.
For the 3 of us to go, it's going to cost like $1,000 almost.
Daddy doesn't want to talk about it, honey.
but I told her, I said, you know what? But tickets do drastically drop like a rock, like after the game starts. So yeah. I'm wondering. I was like, yeah, I'll check StubHub and stuff. I'll see, what tickets cost, like with real close to the ice, real close to the glass. And there were seats, 6, 7, 8 rows off the ice for $35 about 10 minutes into the first period. So I'm like, and that's not a bad little plan. Kind of hang out. Well, if there were a nice bar or something like right next door to Enterprise, go hang out at the bar, have a couple beers, wait for the game to start, buy a ticket online, get the digital transfer, and then just walk in and go sit down low. That would be a bad plan.
I mean, I'll tell you that those seats weren't that expensive. I bought them, early last week. No, I think I bought them Wednesday actually, and I used SeatGeek, and 3 tickets, and it was less than $500 just to sit down that low.
That's not too bad.
A good chunk of that was the damn fees you have to pay, but.
Well, SeatGeek, with SeatGeek, at least you can see what the fees are before you actually check out. If you want. Right. But otherwise, with StubHub, you don't. I don't think do you get that? You're not used to. You could like surprise fees at the end. Ticketmaster is the fucking worst.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
It's like you're paying for tickets twice.
Ticketmaster is the devil.
But you got to go through.
Yeah, that was when I went and bought the tickets for January 17th, Chris Pronger jersey retirement night, which I am so glad it's close. It's almost here. That's going to be a hell of a night, boys. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I have tickets. We all have tickets that game?
Yeah, we all have tickets. And it's Martin Luther King Day, so we're all off work.
Yep.
We will all be at Center Ice Brewery.
Yes,
we will all be at Center Ice.
And it's funny because I went to do.
I might be there all day. I'm not gonna lie.
I went to do the pre check-in thing before the game on Sunday, and I went on the NHL app and pulled up my tickets, and I saw the tickets for the Anaheim game on Sunday, and then I saw January 13th. Was it 13th? 15th? 13th? Whatever it is.
17th.
17th.
The game against the Predators. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and I'm like, what the hell do I have tickets to that game for? It had been a long time since I bought them. I bought them before the season started, right? I'm like, what is that game for? I know I wanted to go to a game in Nashville, but that's not it. I'm like, what? Yeah. And so I'm like, oh,
That-
that's right. It's the Pronger game. That's right.
We splurged a lot this year. So we got tickets to January 15th as well, which it's that Saturday. It's the Maple Leafs. We got that in one of the holiday packs we bought. And then at the Ponder Cup, we actually won tickets for so that was the 13th, which is that Thursday, first game against the Kraken. So yeah, we're going the 13th, 15th, and 17th all in a row, and I'm like, man, we're gonna feel like season ticket holders by the end of this.
Right.
I think that Charlie Lindgren should probably celebrate his play so far with a couple beers from Center Ice Brewery. What do you think?
I think so.
I'm all in. I'll buy the first round.
Right. And I'm gonna say my goodbyes for the night. So thanks, thanks everybody in the chats. We'll talk with you next week.
All right, have a good one, Bill.
Yeah, Bill. Thanks for joining us.
Center Ice Brewery is St. Louis's only hockey-themed brewhouse. Stop on in during the next game to experience the ultimate hockey fan brewery while sampling various hockey-inspired beers, such as Old Arena Lager, the Beauty IPA, the Rotating Pale Ale Series, or seasonal offerings such as their Imperial Stout, their Lime Sherbet Sour, and much more. While you're there enjoying any number of their fantastic beverages, you can admire the bar top and tables made of authentic arena wood and the actual penalty box door from the old barn. Located at 3126 Olive Street in Midtown St. Louis, it's one of the best places to watch a Blues game, or any game. Visit centericebrewery.com today to schedule a no-contact curbside pickup or make a reservation in the tap room. Center Ice Brewery. Let's go Blues. Please drink responsibly. Now we can stretch out now. See, there's a lot more room width-wise on the screen
so
now.
Much more room. Yeah, this is great. I'm going to take my pants off.
It's getting a little crowded. Yeah. Well, you're not allowed to do that when there's three in there. Yeah.
Wait, I
wait,
already have my pants
hold
off.
on. Yeah, I was going to say, the rule is no pants.
Yeah, the only time I wear pants is when I'm at your house doing the show.
Right, it's because I have kids and a dog.
Yes, that's the only reason why.
My dog's a licker.
My.
We got some comments in the YouTube chat. Matt Harris said Falk is 100% the inspiration for my current stash. What a beauty. Okay, he did shave it off. So
yeah,
but yeah. Let's see. And Bill answered Ken Morris's question about Matthew Pekka being related to former Sabres Michael Pekka, and he's not related. Gets that question related, a lot. Yep. And Ken Morris said Blues farm depth is impressive. I thought Mackenzie McEachern would have been called up. I think Mackenzie McEachern's probably fallen out of favor.
Yeah, I don't think we may never see him again in a Blues jersey.
And I was not impressed with his last. I mean, I think he's a warm body.
I think he had a huge opportunity last year to just take a fourth line role, and he never really impressed last season. Yeah, I know. I'm looking at that one too.
Man Harris says there's so much room for activities.
We could do jazzercise.
Yeah. Jazzercise. Bennington has come off COVID protocol. Seems like he's been on it for a month. It does seem like a long time. He's missed 7 games. It seems like he's missed a lot more than that.
Yeah, definitely does.
He is cleared to join the Blues for practice at the Centene Center. No word yet on when he'll start. I'd imagine he'll probably not start right away. He'll probably start practice.
Well, and it's not there's no rush. There's absolutely no rush to get him started right away with the way Lindgren's playing. So, yeah, I'd say as much as my wife's going to hate me saying this, because she loves Bennington. Don't play him Friday. Lindgren already played the Stars, looked great against them. He's been great so far. Let's keep rolling with Lindgren. Let the hot glove keep going.
I'm pulling up the schedule here, and it's running kind of slow. And of course, it goes to October. Why would you go to October when those games are done? Go to the current month. Come on, Blues website. Now, next game is Friday against Dallas, the rematch at home, and then it's Winnipeg. So, I mean, it's not, and then Ottawa. So, I mean, there's a couple of, against Dallas and Winnipeg, not easy games. at all.
Maybe we see him against Winnipeg, but
Maybe.
I mean, depending on how Lindgren looks against Dallas, I might roll Lindgren against them.
Maybe you do that and you give Bennington what should be a softball start against Ottawa.
Yeah, maybe.
And then Toronto, some tough games coming up.
Yep.
Ottawa's the cush game there, but
yeah, it's in Toronto too, which
yes.
Toronto's tough to play at home.
Yeah, at Winnipeg too. At Winnipeg, at Ottawa, at Toronto. Kind of a tough trip there with the Ottawa in between. And the Devils, that's not bad. Oilers, good team. So, yeah, that's.
I'm sorry, I think you meant the Devils.
The Devil. Actually, the hockey team. They're slowly phasing out. Like, you know, they got jersey, they have hat,
Yeah,
pants, and
maybe they'll be
rebrand themselves the hockey team.
They could be the New Jersey jerseys,
or just like the Washington football team. They're the New Jersey hockey team.
I would hate that.
I think I would too. I don't mind at all the Washington football team in a funny way. I don't care.
Yeah.
But they are changing that, right? Washington, they are gonna have
I don't
an actual
know.
name.
I'm not. I guess I'm not tuned into that because I have no idea. But
I thought they were gonna have one this year.
I would imagine they're going to. They're the only team without a mascot at this point.
Yeah. Well.
Oh, wait a minute. No, wait. That's the Indians. That's right. The Cleveland Indians are changing their name to the Avengers or
Defenders.
Defenders. That's it. Yeah.
Which I didn't know.
Insane.
Well, I didn't know. I thought it was weird when I first heard it, but there's a history there. There are two huge statues like the city limits, like big statues that they're called the city defenders. They defend the city for this. I didn't know that.
From invasion from the rest of Ohio? Is that what it is?
I guess. In the insurrection that's coming.
Yeah. Make sure Cincinnatiites don't get in there.
Right. So that's where that comes from. So that made a little more sense to me. I didn't think it was that weird after that, but it was odd at first. So some people, we talked about the goaltending pseudo controversy that some people were trying to say, but I would say there's none. Bennington is your starter. Husso is your backup when both are healthy. So
I honestly think the biggest reason, first of all, you had to have Lindgren as a insurance policy for Hofer. You want Hofer to be getting the majority of the starts in the AHL, but you got to have somebody who can give him some help back there. And Lindgren's a proven guy, at least being able to handle professional hockey. So I think when he was signed, it was, okay, yeah, let's get this guy, maybe a split starter with Hofer down in Springfield. But I also think part of it is, let's see how he does, because he is kind of a highly touted guy still at this point. Husso's up in the last year of his deal. Maybe he takes the backup role next year. Maybe we can get him cheaper in here as the backup in case Husso wants more money, which is possible. And I still think that's the case. I still think Husso comes back and Lindgren is sent back down to the AHL, and they tell him, hey, depending on how contract talks go with Ville, you might be our backup next year. So stick around. We're going to need you. I mean, I don't think there's any trade here unless it's, like you said, a package deal that includes one of those goalies.
I think backup goaltenders are so interchangeable, or I mean, you'll see backup goalies move around from time to time. Just if they, their contract's up and they want more money, I'm like, well, you're still a backup here. We're not going to pay that money. Well, I can try and start somewhere else. Okay, good luck, and they leave. That happens a lot. You'll see shifting of goalies that way. Backups going somewhere else, backup to back up somewhere else for some more money, or backups to maybe start or get split time with somewhere else. Some comments that I found about this situation.
Real quick, before you get to that,
yeah.
I know there's probably people yelling at whatever device they're using to listen to their podcast. Let's go ahead and correct ourselves. Matt Harris in the YouTube chat. It's the Cleveland Guardians, not
what
the
did I say?
Defenders.
Defender. Okay, Guardian. You're right.
Yeah.
Guardians. That, when I said Defenders, I knew it wasn't Avengers, and I said it was Defenders. And I'm like, I said it, and I'm like, well, that doesn't sound right, but I think it is. So yes, good catch.
I just went
Good
with it
Guardians.
because I trust every word you say.
Well, that's your first mistake.
You're my mentor, Kurt.
First comment says they'll be I think at some point they'll be putting either Lindgren or Husso in a trade package for a D-man. That's my guess. Another comment is Husso is better than Bennington at the moment, so I don't think they'd trade him. Another comment is trade Husso. Another comment, do we trade Husso for a prospect pick later on? Another comment, Husso is playing his way into a valuable trade asset. So there's a bunch of comments out there about trading Husso, and I'm like, I don't see it. I just don't. I mean,
No.
it doesn't make any sense.
And like we discussed earlier, these guys are backup goalies. Not saying they're not good goalies. Who honestly, maybe both these guys turn out to be starters in the NHL for another team. But it's talking about Lindgren and Husso. But backup goalies are not going to bring you much in a trade. So to say like, can we trade Husso for a prospect or a pick? If you're wanting a pick, you might get a 5th or a 6th rounder if it's straight up.
Why is it? And why would you do that?
If you're wanting a prospect, you're getting a very low prospect. You're getting a guy who might get you time like a Mackenzie McEachern. I mean, you're not. It's not like you're going to get some high quality pick or prospect for a backup goalie because every team already has one of those.
And every team has
most
goalies.
Of them are good.
And every team has goalies in the AHL too that they might be high on. I mean, some of them.
Yeah.
So if Husso plays the entire season this way, he will. And the Blues say they're not going to bring him back. They're convinced that for some reason, which I don't think this is the case, at the deadline, the Blues say we're not bringing Husso back. He's going to want too much money. We've talked to his agent. So then maybe they trade him in that situation where he's going to, his agent might want $3 million next season. Oh, we're not going to do that. He has a great year and he could play somewhere else. So, okay, well, then we'll go with somebody else, Lindgren or whoever, if we still have him. I think that could happen if Husso just wants too much money. But just to simply trade Husso because we have Lindgren now, that's not going to happen. That
No.
makes zero sense because of all the developing you've done with Husso over the past number of years and brought him up, and now he's playing really well. To move him just because you're getting this small sample size from Lindgren makes zero sense to me.
I feel like, and again, I don't think that anyone knew Lindgren was going to come up here and play the way he has. He's played great, don't get me wrong. But the Blues scouted this guy before he came here. This wasn't like a backyard guy, a dude they just found, playing street hockey, and they're like, holy shit, this guy's really good. I mean, they already knew what they were getting in him. So in a certain sense, this isn't too shocking to the Blues that he's had such a great start here. So it's not like the Blues are looking at this. The Blues management team is looking at this and saying, oh, well, Lindgren has come out of nowhere, so now we need to move Husso. They kind of already knew they had that in them. So I don't think that all of a sudden the plans change. I think this is we got a great AHL goalie down there. If we need to lose Husso in a trade or if he leaves us in free agency, we've already got a good backup in Lindgren. I think that's all this is.
I think all these comments are just par for the course with goaltending, comments on goaltending. As long as I've been a fan, as long as I've been alive, that I've been pay attention to what people say about goaltending. Before the internet, when it was sports radio call-in talk shows about the Blues, and on the rare events those did happen, people calling in complaining about goaltending, or why don't we ditch this guy and bring up the next best thing that we've got in the minors? He's playing pretty well. Bring him up, and just always it's always a bad goaltending take, and it's always been that case. It was bad goaltending takes with Elliott and Allen. Just all through run the gamut. There's Joseph was running out of town. Granted, the fans love Joseph. Generally, I think I did.
Well, let's be honest. You mentioned Allen. We're still seeing bad Jake Allen takes.
To
this day.
Well, and you can see why, because for some reason, people are emotionally in love with this guy, men and women. Not, and the guy, like, I love Jake Allen so much. It's like, why? I mean, I hear he's a great guy. And that's
Great guy.
fantastic. Great guy. But that's great. And that's really, I mean, and this is strictly, our criticism of Allen is strictly, sports related, on ice performance, just nothing personal. But it just never, I don't get the infatuation with him to that degree where he's gone and people are in love with him. He was, I mean, he never did anything
I understand
here.
it. I understand it to the extent of he was on the Stanley Cup team. So, like, I get it to the sense of Joel Edmondson, Robbie Fabry. When those guys were traded, I get that sentiment for that. It had to happen. I'm not saying that I don't agree with those trades, but I'm just saying I understand the infatuation with that reasoning. But yes, you're right. There's something more there.
Because
I never understood it.
Yeah, and the infatuation with Allen was before they won the cup. There was I love him. You still to this day, I love him so much. If they show a picture, a highlight of
Montreal
Allen
was here. When Montreal was here on Saturday, and he got the awesome video tribute, which he deserves. I'm not taking anything away from him. He was the blue starter here for a couple of years, but he just never took the reins. And you look back at the way people were acting then, it was the world's on fire because our starting goalie is terrible. And the minute that Jordan Binnington started playing well, we started saying, oh, well, we should give Jake another try. No. Jake's had his opportunity. Didn't work.
If you look at the goalies that we've had that have had far more success with this team, like Roman Turek, okay? Roman Turek accomplished a whole hell of a lot more than Jake Allen did here. And Roman Turek is disliked. No one likes Roman Turek.
He's a joke at this point.
Right.
We still make jokes, including Roman Turek.
And I'm so my point is that we've had a number of goalies who have done some good things here. Never won a cup until Bennington, but and fans have run him out of town. Oh, he sucks. He's terrible. Get him out of here. But with Allen, for some reason, and it's not like he's a very personable character, fun-loving guy, joking around. He actually, and this,
he's not Joe Kelly.
It's just an observation, right? He looks like a very boring person. As far as interviews and things like that, and like on-camera stuff, he's very stoic. He's very, you know what I mean? He's not. He doesn't have a lot of character. He's not animated. So I'm just trying to look for figure out the appeal here.
He was one of my favorite people to interview, honestly, because he was way more honest than other people were. Like he would actually say, like, yeah, I messed that one up. That was my fault, And I was like, okay, we're not getting that from the other players. Even a Brian Elliott was just, oh yeah, well, we didn't bounce back, blah, 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 blah. Like just your generic hockey talk. Jake would give you real responses, which I appreciate. But yeah, and I get that to a certain extent of, oh yeah, well, he's a real guy. He's personable. He's likable. The team loved him. But yeah, at the same time, every criticism we have of him was warranted. And everybody in the media that criticized him, including Jeremy Rutherford, friend of the show. It was on ice performance solely. And I still stand by that.
Oh, I do too. And I think it was frustrating because what we do, we discuss hockey on this show, on social media, have interactions. And, when you're trying to talk performance on the ice and if you're being critical of Jake Allen during one of his rough patches that he had here, you got attacked or criticized for just calling it as you saw it, and it was like, what the hell is going on here? This is not it's not a personality. I'm not a popularity contest. I don't care. I'm just telling. And I've said this before. I just want a guy in the net that's going to give us the best chance to win. And more often than not, I didn't feel like it was him. And if people want to love him, that's fine. But I don't get it. As far as like
Yeah.
loving the guy to death, and like my favorite guy ever. Okay, that's fine. But when you get criticized and attacked and ridiculed for critiquing him negatively, that was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Hard to understand. I still don't. Ken Morris says Jake Allen is from neighboring province New Brunswick, which also borders Maine, the Pine Tree State. That's just full of facts there.
He's a fat guy. I like me.
He's a fact
I
finder.
like me some Ken Morris. This guy, he always brings the knowledge.
Yeah, he's like the STL Blues history guy, like on the fly here, kind of. Let's just tossing out facts.
There you go, Ken Morris. Make yourself a new Twitter. Call yourself Let's Go Blues Radio History, and
LGB Radio
just
History.
Start putting facts out like this, and we'll we'll make sure you get seen.
Speaking of trading goalies, the Blues did trade a goalie. They traded John Gillies. Oh, how we hardly knew ye. He was signed on December 8th, played one game, then traded on December 14th to the Devils for future considerations. Due to Bennington being activated, Gillies had to go. So,
you see guys, get a small glimpse with the team and then get moved, and you think maybe there's some animosity there that the guy was moved so quickly. I think John Gillies probably is going to look back at his time with the Blues as a savior for his career.
Maybe. Depends how he plays, yeah.
As I mentioned, he started this season on a tryout for an AHL team. Now he's on an NHL roster playing in New Jersey. We'll see how the rest of the season goes for him. But I think he's going to look back and say, thank you, St. Louis Blues. You helped me get my career back on path. And he played great on Sunday.
Did.
And I wish him nothing but the best.
Played really good. Deserved the win. They gave up that late goal about 5 minutes to go, something like that, 6 minutes to go. Kind of sucked. And then they went to overtime. They lost. And that Perunovic turnover, that bad play. If we're gonna drool over Perunovic for the good stuff he does, which has been a lot, come on.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
Bad turnover. Get the yips or something. The
yips. Oh,
the
you can't say that.
Why not? Is that racist or something?
No.
I don't
you
know.
watched Ted Lasso, right?
The yips. Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can't say that. You can't say it.
Yeah, sorry. What am I supposed to say then? Holding six.
Why I didn't say it.
The NHL is set to introduce some new COVID protocols that will last through at least January 7th. This is sure to go over very well with all of the vocal minority Missouri hockey fans out there. Oh, yeah, they're going to love it, right? Especially some fellow podcasts. It should be noted that this decision was made with input and recommendations from medical professionals. So this isn't something that's a willy-nilly decision. These enhanced protocols are due to a rash of COVID cases across the league. More than 130 NHL players have been placed on the COVID-19 protocol list this season, including more than 24 over the past 2 days. Daily testing will be done instead of every third day like it has been, but players do not have to get tested on off days. Limitations on players leaving hotels on the road. They cannot dine indoors and social distance while inside facilities. All team personnel will be required to wear face masks at facilities. Meetings will be held all virtually, and the NHL has recommended the booster shot, and many players have already received it. However, the league does not intend to mandate a booster shot at this time.
I'm still yet to get mine. I need to do that.
I got mine. I got mine 2 weeks to the day before the Pounder tournament. And so the day of the tournament, it was the 2 week mark, and that was at the 2 weeks out from the booster is the Moderna one anyway. I guess it's the same with Pfizer. That says you're at the peak protectedness, right? Peak efficacy of the booster. And so, okay, good. Right. I'm going to the tournament. I'll be in a locker room, a small ass locker room with a bunch of guys. Okay, I'm protected as well as I can be with the vaccine. So That was a good time.
Yeah, and so man, I'll say I'm with everyone. Yes, you're going to get the people who don't like these new protocols here, but I think everyone can agree that this fucking sucks and we're so tired of it, but it doesn't mean that it's not necessary. Um Again, we're not talking about just protecting the players. We're talking about protecting the players' families. A lot of these guys have elder parents and grandparents that they have to be protected. They need to be protected. Imagine if I don't want to use anyone's names. Let's just say a Blues defenseman has an elderly grandparent coming down to visit, and all of a sudden, oh wait, what's that? Oh, I just tested positive for COVID, and I was around you all day yesterday. That player's going to feel like a piece of shit. So they're doing everything they can to make sure it doesn't happen. And it's not just families of the players either. It's arena staff. It's the day-to-day operations people for the teams. They got to protect everybody, and I get why they're doing it. It sucks. I'm with every person that feels that way, but it has to be done. And is this life now? Maybe. But unfortunately, this is life right now. So until that changes, this is just the kind of stuff we're going to have to see and deal with.
And people will say one of the common rebuttals to this is that why are players without symptoms being put on the COVID list, a COVID protocol list? And so if you knowingly let a player play with COVID that doesn't have symptoms, they feel perfectly fine, and they play, and they give it to somebody else or a few other players that all of a sudden do have symptoms. And, because sometimes players, even as healthy as they are and as in shape as they are, except for Phil Kessel should be concerned. Phil Kessel should be concerned. Hopefully he is fully vaccinated. Everyone is, apparently, except for Bertuzzi in Detroit.
Yeah.
But he should be like a spokesperson because, hey, I'm sitting over here, I like my hot dogs, and so I'm not in the best of shape. So I need extra protection from you guys. So herd immunity around me, please. But so like I said, there's something about one of the common things is to say that why are people playing that aren't why are people being put on the COVID protocol list that aren't showing symptoms? Because if they come into contact with other players, give it to them, and then they have symptoms, then you're passing on something to somebody when you could have sat them, and then they're going to have they may have complications. So it's not. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of players don't have. Bozak has symptoms. He said he felt like crap.
Yeah, and his whole family.
Yeah, his whole family
had issues. Yeah.
So that's why, and that's so you're trying to prevent that, even though it's very, and it's as many precautions that they're taking in the league, and to see how it's still spreading like it is, it's still fairly common. Just shows how contagious it is. Can you imagine if they didn't do any of this and they just let players play and did what the vocal minority wants to do, is just get back to normal, just ignore everything? They have to cancel the season. I don't know how they would, unless you're not testing, but even then you're going to have, if someone comes down sick with symptoms, we're in a pandemic, you're going to want to get tested to see if it is COVID, because you don't want to give that to your family or whoever else. And you can't,
it goes back to what I said. If you have an elderly neighbor, if you have somebody who's at high risk, who's sitting on the first row in the glass, there's so many variables that cause this to have to be done the way the NHL's having to do it. And I don't know, I get, and yes, everybody's well, the Omicron variant is it's not even really hospitalizing people. Well, guess what? It still is to some people, and it's still a disease and still a sickness, and can still lead to problems down the road.
I just saw on the news tonight, the Delta virus, the Delta variant makes up like 96 or 97% of the cases in the US. Mm-hmm. So, and the Delta is worse, is bad. So it can be. So that's the concern. I think if Omicron, maybe if Delta wasn't a thing at all, and Omicron was the dominant 97%, and nobody was like being hospitalized for it, then we're probably talking a different situation, maybe, right? Where there's no serious side effects from it, or very, very few people are having serious issues with it. Maybe that's a different situation. But the situation we're in now, it's like, I mean, like I said, these decisions aren't made willy nilly. They're going by the advice from medical professionals that know their stuff, and I'm not going to pretend to know more than they do. I don't think anybody should. So you just kind of got to go with what they're recommending, and until we're through it. I think it'll be interesting to see, with who got hit hard. The Flames.
Calgary.
The Flames got hit hard. Yeah. They had some games. They had some the postponed games, and it'd be interesting to see if any other teams have games postponed. It'd be interesting to see if the NHL players go to the Olympics, which they have until January 10th to decide on that. Like yes or no, Jeff, right now, if you had to decide, if you had to guess if the NHL players were going to play in the Olympics right now, what would you say, yes or no?
If you would have asked me 48 hours ago, I think I would have said yes. Right now, I'm saying no. And the biggest reason is because the biggest voice in the NHL has already said that he thinks that it might be a bad idea, and that's Connor McDavid. He says he's got concerns about it.
Aren't his concerns aren't his concerns like the protocols that will be in place at the Olympics?
Yes.
Yeah. And how bad it is over there?
That's enough to make the NHL say, yeah, that's a good point. And I mean, they've obviously got people researching this and on this more than the players themselves. But I think just with a player of his magnitude coming out and basically being very honest and saying, I don't know about this. I think it's going to make the NHL second guess and say, yeah, if this happens, let's say we go against what our star player said and what other people are even saying, and we still send our players, and then all of a sudden these guys all come back and they got COVID and they got to sit out. All of a sudden, every star in the league is not starting back the NHL season. I mean, you don't want that.
Can you imagine the train wreck if while over there, it just like half the players get it?
Yeah.
I mean,
you can't have that.
I mean, that's bad. And what are they going to do anyway? I mean, I guess if they don't send players, and they're going with the amateurs, right? College and whatnot. Mm-hmm. So that'd be, I'd still love to watch that. I mean,
I watched them 4 years ago and it was great.
Yeah. It's Olympic hockey. So I'm like, go USA. Right. So whatever.
Yeah.
I think I would probably be in the same boat with you. I'd say no, that they wouldn't go. And it's going to piss off some players, because I know some players are on record as saying, I don't care what the situation is. I want to go no matter what. But that's not
the issue.
That's not Connor McDavid.
You go over there and all of a sudden you're there 4 days and you test positive. Guess what? You're missing pretty much the entire tournament.
Yeah, you're not playing. I assume that's the rule. I assume if you test positive, you can't play. That would make sense to me. I don't know.
Quarantined.
Yeah, I assume so. I don't know what it is in China or with the Olympics or what they're. I assume it's the same kind of quarantine rules that NHL has.
Yep.
I don't know. It'd be interesting. I mean, it's coming up. It's only a month away, less than a month away before the decision has to be made on whether they're playing or not. So, and it's getting worse in the NHL. So, we'll see.
Ken Morris says, does not look good for NHL players going to China. I can imagine how long a player with COVID could be held in quarantine in China. Yeah. Good point. Let's see. Matt Harris adds, just mix a little of the vaccine into a hot dog for Kessel. He'll be fine. There's your comment of the show, folks. Congratulations, Matt Harris.
Well, Matt Harris, wait, which one was that? Did you read?
The hot dog for Kessel.
Okay. I saw that one.
Yeah.
Matt Harris also said, I've gotten all 5 shots, Moderna, Pfizer, both Johnson & Johnson's, and my tetanus.
And then he said, joking aside, please, for the love of God, everyone get vaccinated.
Yeah, we're on board.
We
with that.
echo that.
I mean, it's
Yep.
it's the there. I have not. I've been talking with people a long time about this, and I have not been given a good reason to not get vaccinated unless you're medically unable to, for you're allergic to something in the vaccine or something like that. So, if you're able to get the vaccine, get vaccinated, please.
Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
And Ken Morris said that the Perunovic, we talked about the Perunovic turnover that lost the game against Anaheim. He said, and Scotty P gets benched against the Stars. He was sick, so they said.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. And I'll say with that that play in overtime that led to Troy Terry scoring on the penalty shot. I mean, he was exhausted by the end of that play. But I will say, I did not. The only thing that pissed me off about that hook was he stopped moving his feet. I think if he keeps moving his feet, there's a chance that the referee looks the other way and says, play can keep going.
Or just calls a penalty.
Or just calls a penalty. But I mean, he hooked him and then just stopped churning feet.
Well,
and that right there, that's the jet skiing stuff we saw in the 90s.
Yeah, the water skiing. Yeah. You just hooking, which I did. I'd hook the shit out of somebody if they're on a breakaway, and I'd hook him. I'd pull myself up to him.
Yep.
And I wouldn't get called.
That's what Perunovic was doing. I will say that I just wish he would have kept his feet churning, and I think there's a chance maybe you don't get a penalty shot on that play. But that was I was going to say it, even though he's a young guy. That was a piss poor decision on his part. Keep the legs moving, kid. And I think maybe he saw the replay, I hope, and learned his lesson because he didn't play that well.
At first, I thought my first thought was on that 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 was a good penalty because it's a breakaway otherwise. And I'm thinking, oh wait, no, they might call a penalty shot. Surely they want overtime, right? Oh, they did. They called a penalty shot.
Yep.
So I'm like, oh, was that a good decision or not? I'm like, probably not.
Plus, it was one of the hottest goal scorers in the league, too.
Yeah. I mean, just maybe harass him and, I don't know, dive and I don't know.
That's my point. Harass him. You just keep your stick and keep poking at his hands. Yeah. But again, there's a chance you don't even get a penalty call in overtime. But
you got to think, what's the best
moving
chance?
Your feet and you just latch on. That's a penalty every time. They're going to call a penalty shot every time.
I guess you got to determine in a short amount of time, what's the best chance for our team to not allow a goal here? Is it the breakaway during the game or is it a penalty shot?
I think it's typically the breakaway, but
during the game?
During the game. But I will say that it's a calculated move because you'd say, okay, a breakaway is a better shot for our goalie than a penalty shot, but it's also because there's a chance you don't get the penalty call if you
right.
harass and you're just bugging them from all the way down the ice. There's a chance the referee looks the other way, but when you are just I'm going to take this penalty.
Oh, yeah.
That's not the right call.
Yeah, because like you said, he stopped skating and he just tried to hook him. I mean, he's like, I'm taking a penalty, and that's the way it is.
He tried to yank him down.
Yeah.
Is what he did.
And I'm like, maybe he didn't even think about it being called a penalty shot. Maybe he just I'm taking a penalty here because otherwise it could be a goal.
Yeah, maybe.
It could be it's a bang, bang, split decision kind of a thing. So maybe just didn't think it through all the way. Rapid fire tidbits. We are on this, right? Yeah. Rapid fire tidbits from around the NHL. Ben Bishop has retired. He officially announced this on Tuesday due to a degenerative issue in his knee. He said he realized his career was over after allowing 8 goals in a rehab start with the AHL's Texas Stars, and after the game, his knee was swollen again. This was after surgery. So Bishop said the first sign of trouble with the knee came during a 7-game loss to the St. Louis Blues in the second round of the 2019 playoffs. That was I felt bad for Bishop in that series. There was that goal that he got hit up high and got knocked down. They scored that goal when he was on the ice. And then I mean,
he played his ass off in Game 7.
He did.
That was some of the best goaltending we've seen at Enterprise Center.
And really, the Stars had 2 glorious chances, probably
Mhm.
more, to win. Was Ben's wraparound
Mhm.
that he didn't tuck it in close enough to the post and shot it more towards the
Yep.
middle of the goal, and Bennington's pad happened to be there. If he puts it 6 inches more to the right, it's in. And also, who was it that had the wide open net? Cagliano, and flipped it
Yeah.
wide. He was
Yep.
he was on top of the crease, wide open net, and it was on its edge, and he shot it, just flipped wide. I was like, oh, my
Yep.
heart sank. My heart sank when that play developed. I thought, oh, it's over because it's wide open net,
Yep.
and he just missed it. It grazes the outside of the net. Oh.
Same thing. The minute that pass came across to him, it was that moment where I just put my head down. I didn't even watch. I put my head down and I was like, nope. And then next thing I hear is the announcer saying, "Oh, he put it wide," and I'm like, no fucking way.
People talk about Ben's chance always, and never talk about Cagliano's. And to me,
that one was a bigger chance.
Oh, yeah, that was an easy goal. I mean, Ben is trying the wraparound. It's a tough chance. He did a good job to get it on net. But I mean, Cagliano's is like he's got half a net to shoot at, and he's in front of the goal.
You got to wonder if that's star power. It's
probably.
Jamie Benn 9 times out of 10 is going to score on that goal.
Yeah, sure.
Whereas Cagliano, a guy who's not known for scoring a ton of goals, maybe he doesn't put that in most of the time.
That would have bugged me as bad as losing to Chicago in 16 and 15. 15. Yeah. That Ben scoring in a wraparound. Just I know you enjoy Ben. He's one of my most hated players, and for him to beat us in overtime, and oh man, that would have ate at me forever.
Yeah, it would have been hard to swallow for me too. I get it. But no, back to Ben Bishop. Yeah. I know I've told this story before, but I think I've told this on the podcast before.
Was it during your time in the media?
No, this was long before my media days. This was actually those would have been 2005 was when he graduated Chaminade. So yeah, this would have been the summer of 2005. I had a friend of mine who went to Chaminade, graduated with Ben Bishop, and so we were in line on we were at Six Flags at Hurricane Harbor. And we were going down I never remember the name of the rides there, but the really big water slide up there. We were at the top and we saw Ben Bishop. He was about 5 people ahead of us. And my buddy, his name's MJ. MJ was like, he's like, man, that's Ben. I know Big Ben. I know him. And I'm like, well, fucking say something to him. Say hi. Because he had just been drafted by the Blues. And he was just like, no, I want to bug him. And I'm like, dude, come on, just say so. So right before he goes down the slide, well, okay, so backstory. He tells me before that, he says, yeah, Ben actually copied off me in math and passed math because of me. And I was like, yeah, okay. Ben seems like a smart guy. That's ridiculous. And so right before Ben's going down the slide, I go, hey, Ben, my buddy MJ says hi. And he turns around. He looks at him and he goes, oh, hey, man, thanks for helping me pass math. And I was like, nice.
That's
okay.
Funny.
And then as he's going down the water tube, he goes, we just hear him yell all the way down, Chaminade! And it was just one of the funniest things in the world to me. So every time, whenever I would try to get close to him when I was, in the 6, 7, 8 rows from the ice, I would always yell Chaminade and hope that he would respond. He never did, but just an awesome career for this guy.
Yeah.
And really, really sad that he didn't get a Stanley Cup. He came so close that year against the Blackhawks. Obviously came close against the Blues. That would have been a good year for the Stars to advance. I think they would have taken out the Sharks, maybe even the Bruins. So tough to see. I love this kid. I know that he's played for some rivals for the Blues, but man, I really hoped he was going to bounce back. I wanted to see that bounce back story, him to win the Masterton, come back, be a great starter. It just unfortunately happened in a way that we never could have predicted before.
He had so many injury problems, just riddled his entire career. He missed all but 3 games during the Stars' run to the Cup final in 2020. Had surgery to repair his meniscus, then reevaluated surgery to repair his meniscus, then revealed that the cartilage was wearing away, and he was essentially playing bone on bone, which results in sharp pain, especially when making butterfly saves, apparently. And Steve Yzerman, I remember, had this degenerative issue in his knee where bone was on bone, and helped end his career. So it's kind of when the cartilage goes away.
Luckily for Yzerman, it was later in his career that they found this.
It was the end of his career, right? He was probably almost ready to retire anyway.
Yeah, and with Bishop, it just and I've heard that the guys that are that tall and lanky, they can have this kind of issue more often. And obviously Ben's the biggest goalie to ever play in the NHL. I think that's right. I could be wrong on that, but he's just a competitor and was an unbelievable. I loved for how tall and lanky and just kind of awkward he looked. Man, he was still so technically sound. I love the way he played goal.
That was the knock on him. Well, I remember, like I said, sports talk call-in shows and whatnot for criticism of comments on goaltending has always been like a shit show, right? I remember specifically a lot of people saying, "Oh, he's too big. He's too big to play goal. He's too big. He's not going to be able to move as easy. He's too tall, not covering the net." Yeah, that was a thing from Blues fans back when he first came up. And Ken Morris said that I wish Ben Bishop would have had a stint with the Blues, and he did. Ken, to start his career, 13 games, small stint,
very early.
Yep. First, he played 6 games for the Blues in 08-09 and 7 in 2010-11, and then he was traded to Ottawa.
Yep.
For a second-round pick in 2013, which was Thomas Vanelli.
Yeah, which we thought he was going to turn out to be something, and he
never played in the NHL.
Unfortunately, never did.
Never played.
But he was traded because the Blues had a little bit of a logjam in goal. They had signed Brian Elliott just because they wanted to push Ben Bishop. In my opinion, I think that's still the case. They wanted to push Ben Bishop to be the backup. They wanted to have a veteran guy in camp to push him. Well, then we all know what Brian Elliott did. He came in and played phenomenal, and that kind of pushed Bishop down the ladder. And then it was Jake Allen was also, just coming in, and he looked like a great goalie. So Blues had quite the logjam. They had to do something, and the goalie they moved was Bishop.
It was Halak and Elliott got the starters and the backup that season, and they almost split time. They're both playing so well. That was the year they won the Jennings with the lowest GAA. It was crazy. That they played amazing.
They were phenomenal.
Yeah,
they both had like 8 shutouts that season. It was ridiculous. And
then next season, Allen, all 3 played a little bit with the Blues. So Allen, Elliott, and Halak. So the Blues they were rich in goaltending at the time, and higher. There was higher aspirations for Allen than what he actually achieved. So they were high on him. Real high. So it made sense.
Yeah. How long did we hear that Jake Allen was the starter of the future for the Blues?
Oh, a long time.
I mean, you can't have 2 guys be your starter of the future. You can't have Allen and Bishop. And I stand by. I know there's a lot of people that still say the Blues moved the wrong goalie, which they, in hindsight, yeah, they did. But
I don't think they did.
Maybe they didn't.
Only because
injuries considered.
Yeah, he just couldn't stay healthy. He was bad. He had some good seasons and great seasons, but man, he was just so hurt so often.
Well, and he was having some issues in the AHL at the time. He just was not putting up the numbers the Blues expected. Allen was playing a little better, and so it was, the Blues looked at it and said, we got to make a move here. That we have to get rid of one of these guys. We're not going to be able to bring them both up because at the time I think they thought Halak was going to be a starter for a couple years. And then at the time Brian Elliott was challenging him even for the starting job. So you got 4 goalies in the NHL and AHL that honestly could have stepped in as a starter in the NHL at any point. They had to move one of them, and I agreed with the decision to just go ahead and move Bishop and give Allen his time in Peoria at the time. I still stand by. I'm okay with them moving Bishop. At the time, it seemed like the right move.
Because what do you do then if you keep Bishop, and then you have Bishop, Halak, and Elliott? Well, then what do you do? I mean, you still trade Bishop, don't you? I mean, with the way Halak and Elliott were playing, you can't exactly. I mean, when Elliott was here, he had the best goals against average and best save percentage in the NHL over those 4 or 5 seasons. You can't move that.
Let's not forget, too, that when Bishop went to Ottawa, he had a little bit of a good stint with them. But for the most part, he was playing for their AHL team. So they were seeing the same thing the Blues were seeing at the time. So it wasn't just piss poor management by the Blues. It was, well, this guy really isn't proving himself too much to be an NHL goalie. It really wasn't until he got to Tampa that he really turned his game around.
In Ottawa, he was with Ottawa for 2 seasons. And he played 23 games.
Yeah.
For them. And then he took off, and like you said, Tampa Bay he played 227 games there. 9.21 save percentage with Tampa, 2.28 goals against average, by far his best numbers. And that's his career numbers, 9.21 and percentage and 2.32 GAA. So real good career numbers.
Tampa's had some really good goalies, and he will sit atop those really good goalies for a long time, and that just goes to show how long of a good career he had.
Mm-hmm. Bleedingblue.com, a site that's been around for quite a while, listed, this was 5 years ago, an article wrote 5 years ago, I found it, listed the Blues trading Bishop as one of the top 10 worst trades they've ever made, and this was 5 years ago. So I'm not sure I agree with that. I don't agree with that because of, we talked about it before, but I think the return was, I guess the return was terrible. So I guess for how good a player the Bishop was in the NHL, even though it was injury prone to death, Vanelli amounted to nothing. So I guess in that respect, it wasn't a good trade for the Blues. But, of the goalies they could have moved, I mean, I guess she moved Allen, but like I said, then you got Bishop and Elliott and Halak, and then what?
You're having the same problem.
You still had to move him. Now, could you get more from him? I don't know. At the time, he hadn't played much. He didn't have hardly any NHL experience. He had 13 games played.
This goes back to our conversation earlier about moving Ville Husso. Ville Husso's great goalie. Don't get me wrong, but right now, you're not getting anything for him. He's a backup goalie, and he's good, but every team has somebody they can rely on as their backup. And it was the same thing then. Ben Bishop was a good goalie, but he wasn't proven at that point that he could be elite. He had a couple years to prove that, and he still hadn't. So it was, we have to move him. You could have made the same case for Allen, yes, but the Blues chose, and it was probably that they were both available, and they just got a better offer from Ottawa to get Ben Bishop, so they took it.
With St. Louis, Bishop had 13 games played, had a 8.96 save percentage and a 2.83 GAA. So the return for him was Vanelli, who never played in the NHL. Bishop's numbers weren't good early in his career with the Blues, 13 games, way too early to really fairly assess him as a player, right? But yeah, you weren't trading a guy that just won the Vezina, for Vanelli, maybe Vanelli was supposed to be great and never developed. I could see that happening with being a bad trade. But I think at the time this trade was made, I don't think it was a bad move. But when you're dealing with riches, you got to move somebody. So
So we just got a question from Ken. I think I know the answer, but I don't want to say it if I'm
Nope.
wrong.
Why would
So he
you?
asked, who was the higher? Well, there's a chance I'm wrong. He said, who is the higher draft pick? Jake Allen or Ben Bishop? I believe Jake Allen was higher. And now that I'm looking it up, Jake was 2008 second round, 4th pick, so 34th overall.
Yeah, Bishop was 85th. Bishop was
Oh,
85th.
wow.
Yeah. So Allen was
Okay,
much
so
higher.
yeah,
Much
he
higher.
was. Yeah, so Allen was much higher pick.
Yep.
And yeah, that probably factored into it too.
Sure.
But either way, Ben Bishop, hell of a goalie. Loved seeing him play. I loved seeing the success he got. I know that some Blues fans got a little mad at him during the series in 2019.
Well,
Just
Bennington took a swing
because
at him.
he's the opposing goalie. Yeah, he took a swing. Yeah, which is fine. I'm fine with that.
That was with his stick too. Remember that? That was with his stick.
Yeah, it was.
That was another stick swing against
But
him.
no, I wished we would have seen more of Ben Bishop, and I hear that the rumor is he is definitely going to stick around the game, and I hope he does, because yeah, he's a smart guy, and he's a personality. So yeah, good career, Ben, and I hope you stick around. I hope you get to win a Stanley Cup in another way.
I mean, he's 35. You know, I mean, he's not. It's not like he's 28.
But his last game was he was 33, right?
Well, I'm saying that. Well, yeah, but I'm saying that he says he still feels like he can play at a high level. He's just his knee won't let him, and maybe he could. You know, maybe he's got a few more years. But he's still 35. So I mean, he's getting up there, and as far as age where you never know which way it's going to break for you. So 35, 36, 37, especially for a goalie. But yeah, great career. I mean, sad to see it end the way it did. You never want to go out on these terms. You want to go out on your terms.
Yeah, and that's the thing that sucks. I always hate when I see a player is forced to retire because of injury. You know, it's or just because he can't even when he can't find a job. You know, like Troy Brouwer just officially announced his retirement, and I'm like,
yeah.
Oh, you still had hope, huh? You know,
it is funny.
No offense to him.
Isn't it funny when you announce retirement when absolutely nobody will take you? It's like, well, yeah, you're retiring because it's gonna.
That's like if I were unemployed and I was just like, yeah, you know what? I'm just not gonna work.
And you announce, I'm not gonna work anymore. No, you can't. You can't do that. It's kind of like boycotting going to Blues games because they have a mask mandate. You can't boycott something that you aren't allowed to attend.
Yeah, that's true.
Or I'm sorry, a vaccine requirement.
Vaccine mandate.
If you're unvaccinated, you refuse to be vaccinated. You can't boycott the Blues games if you aren't allowed to go there in the first place.
That's true. Very good point. We have a famous tweeter in the YouTube chat. Mr. Blues Fan Reacts says, "Sup, boys? Hey, buddy. How's it going?
Hey, you better copyright that YouTube comment. Someone will steal it."
Nice. That's a nice callback.
You know, I mean, don't steal people's stuff. Just don't. Be creative on your own.
And he's not calling out Blues Fan Reacts for that. Somebody stole his stuff, is what he's saying.
He made a very funny tweet, and it was stolen.
It was some good observational humor.
Yes, right. And his went viral. The other one didn't. So that's good. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's laughing.
Yep.
I'm telling you, copyright your stuff, man. Don't. He told me, he was like, "Oh, it's okay. It's okay." No, it's not okay. Content creators unite. That
is one of Kurt's biggest pet peeves is when content gets stolen. Look at
this. Look at
this. You will. Yeah, I have actually. Yes.
You see that right
I've
there?
I've seen that taken a couple times.
That's a sticker that I designed. It's a Stag Beer Blues hockey sticker that we sell on our website. And there's a shop in Belleville, Illinois that stole the design and put it on some T-shirts.
Yep.
So
and I've seen those at games.
Yep. So, and I contacted him about it, and I asked them, just for an explanation or whatever, and they ignored me. So it's hard to address that kind of a thing without, if you want to get a lawyer, then that's a hassle. But
Right.
so what else we got? Any other comments? The Blues fan reacts. You joined late.
Yeah, journals. We get that a lot on this show. It's funny because we'll get people, I guess, who like maybe jump on YouTube. Maybe they're like laying in bed or just kind of scrolling on their phone, and 11:30, 11:15, they'll tune in and be like, "Oh, hey guys!" And it's like, I think we had that with the old Blues E-Bug. Did that once or twice.
Yeah,
We get that with Oilers Live guy a lot.
Yes.
And it's like, guys, we start 9:15, 9:30, like every Wednesday. Be here early and talk with us all show. We'd love it.
Or late too. I mean, it's fine, but you're just missing out. That's all.
That's right.
Blues fan reacts says, "Yeah, I mean, anyone stealing my shit has a terrible sense of humor." LMAO.
I disagree. I think you're a very funny man.
Funny looking. Oh, anyway,
burn.
Kidding, joking.
No, he's not.
Derek says Allen was 34, hence his number, right? I believe that's why he's 34. Also,
yeah, that sounds right.
Also, your number for goalies is fairly limited. You don't see goalies wearing like 21 or 65. The goalies typically wear, what is it? What I've seen 28, 29, 30, 31,
30, 31,
33, 1, 40,
34,
41.
35. 37 was only the goalie.
I think 30s,
50
40,
is
some
starting
40s,
to kind of be a little more.
50, but yeah,
41.
You don't see teens ever. 20s really or hardly ever, or high numbers for some reason. And you know what? That's kind of why the goalies don't get the numbers retired, because how can you retire a few goalie numbers and you run out of numbers? Kind of odd.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. Never thought about that.
I think we're about ready to wrap this show up, unless any other folks want to join late. Support for Let's Go Blues Radio is brought to you in part by ID Life, the world's only truly personalized vitamin platform based on a health assessment of your DNA. Visit rockinthatidlife.com for more information. That's rockinthatidlife.com and get 10% off by texting Dustin at 636-393-8745 and tell him Let's Go Blues Radio sent you. And Jeff, that was that special again that you discussed earlier in the show for ID Life?
Oh, it's Santa-sized savings. Yeah, it's all right. Okay, hang on. Go ahead and keep going. I'll
Blues fan react says Vasilevsky is 89, so that's a strange one. Yeah, I guess maybe there's no rules against goalies having other numbers, but you just don't see it for some reason. And by Center Ice Brewery, St. Louis's hockey-themed brewery. Visit centericebrewery.com today to schedule a no-contact curbside pickup or to make a reservation in their tap room located at 3126 Olive Street in Midtown St. Louis. It's one of the best places to watch a Blues game. That's centericebrewery.com. Please drink responsibly. Yes, Jeff.
So that deal with rockinthatidlife.com, Santa size savings, $20 off the retail burn box, plus $40 instant savings on ID Nutrition. These are for customers and VIPs only. So you have to sign up, be a customer. Text our friend Dustin, and he will clue you in more on the details. And remember as well, subscribe and save. So if you do a subscription box with them, over a 6-month period, you're saving $360, which is
he's giving
pretty
stuff
ridiculous.
Away. He's giving.
He really is at this point. I don't know how he's making any money.
The phone number is in the show notes. So if you want to reference it later, too.
I got it right here: 636-393-8745. That number again: 636-393-8745. Dustin Paul with rockinthatidlife.com. Tell him Let's Go Blues Radio sent you.
And his number is also in the show notes below on YouTube. So check that out.
Nice.
Yeah, always there, standard. So constant. It's like an ad 24/7. That'll wrap up episode 14 of season 10 of the original St. Louis Blues hockey podcast, Let's Go Blues Radio. Thank you for listening, and thanks to those who participated in the YouTube and Facebook live chats during the live show. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we've enjoyed bringing it to you. For Jeff Ponder and Bill Day, I'm Kurt Price. Until next time, everyone, please get vaccinated, and let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues.
The Chiefs are at home tonight against Sport at the War Memorial at 8. Good seats are still available. I think that went very well.
Thank you for listening to Let's Go Blues Radio. Now take off, hosers.
I want you to have a heart attack and die so that we never have to do this shit again.
Well, there's 90 minutes of your life you'll never get back. Sorry.
St. Louis Blues, St. Louis Blues. Have you heard the news about our St. Louis Blues? They've only just begun, they're on their way to number one. Now there's no more blues for our St. Louis Blues. The Blues are on the ice tonight again. They're rough and tough and got the stuff to win. They'll always get one more, no matter what the score. They are quite a hockey team, my friend. They never give a single goal away. And to prove they are champions every day. 'Cause when it's said and done, they'll have them on the run.